Hurry in for the Ram Declaration of Deals. Nothing stops Ram. And by Morgan & Morgan. Diamond Talk. You are listening to the Diamondbacks Radio Network. KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Burns and Gambo starts now.
Streets up. 3:32 on this Wednesday afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome into today's edition of the Burns and Gambo Show here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. My name is Dave Burns, alongside the one, the only, filling in for Gambo today, Mitch Vareldis from Arizona Sports at Night.
Even shorter on the... Oh, there we go. Now the camera's coming down. I was going to say, I was even shorter on the video stream. Holy moly. It's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out. I'll just do live play-by-play of the video camera now working its way back towards. All right, so we're panning down.
Somebody had one too many old styles
down
at the Cubs D-backs game today. Lauren, is this you?
I promise I'm on the green dot. There we go. Now I'm coming into focus.
Is this you? Could you pass a blood alcohol content test right now if we applied one? You're just all over.
Yes, sadly I would.
Sadly you would. Okay, fine.
What she's implying is she could use an increase in that right now based on what happened with the Cubs the last 2 days.
That's exactly what I
Could you use an old style right now? If I had an old style to offer you, would you drink it? Well, you're not allowed to here at work, but is that, being a Chicago fan, you a big old style fan?
Yeah.
Okay, you would do that? Okay, cool.
She might want whatever Pete Crow Armstrong is about to have on the flight home. He did not have a fun trip to Arizona.
Seriously.
All things considered.
Man, that was low-key, like, okay, you win this, and we're going to get into all of this here in a minute. But watching Pete Crow Armstrong, sorry, Lauren, I know you love him, but watching it melt down over at third, then him having the series that he had, I mean, given how many Cubs fans invaded that building the last 3 days,
yeah,
you talk about a small victory for Diamondback fans. Watching PCA struggle like that is a small win for, maybe that's not even a small win. That's a big win for Diamondback fans over the last couple of days, right?
There's some people in the Seattle sports Twitter sphere, I believe it is, that have noted that ever since, because the Cubs were just in Seattle, they were just playing the Mariners. Ever since PCA went up to Cal Raleigh and lightly patted his dumper, it's as if all the PCA positive energy is now shifted to Cal, as Cal is back to his 60-homer pace right now.
Like he took his superpowers from him or something?
Yeah.
Like because he touched his rumpus that it's suddenly,
whatever
I
happened in Space Jam where the mojo is gone.
I will tell you that Lauren flew in here like a bat out of hell because she was at today's game and left in about the 7th inning. I don't know if we're going to get cheery Lauren today. When last we were all here, the Cubs,
everything was fine.
Everything was fine for Lauren. And then our top story of the day happened.
Burns and Gambo, the weigh-in.
Murillo, he's set. He fires. And he gets a ground ball to first. Tawa has it. Flips to Murillo in time, and that's your ball game. The Diamondbacks shut out the Cubs 2-0, and they pick up a massive series win against the top team in the National League wildcard race, the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, it almost feels like he just took 2 or 3 from the Cubs at Wrigley with how many Cubs fans were there. And that only adds, I think, to how big, Mitch, this kind of feels. I mean, I understand it's big regardless of who you want a series from. Mm-hmm. But the fact that that's the top wild card team in the National League, their fans flooded your building, you're dealing with this Ketel Marte nonsense, and through it all, you win a series against the best wild card team, and you do it on back-to-back for totally different reasons, amazing baseball games. That was a statement series win for the Arizona Diamondbacks today, and there's just no other way to look at it.
And it almost wasn't a series win. I know we'll talk about tomorrow's game yesterday, but the way that they were able to
Wait a minute, we're going to talk about tomorrow's game yesterday. Hold on.
We were just talking. You know what's funny?
Hold on.
In pre-show, we were talking about the whole role of being a public speaker for a living, and sometimes you say things that sound good in the moment, and then in retrospect, etc.
That's good.
We've all been there.
That's some serious time stone type stuff right there. We're going to talk about tomorrow's game yesterday. I can't wait to see how we pull that off. I'm just teasing you. I'm teasing you.
I think about this. They lose 2 out of 3 to the Rockies, right? Just like a very deflating home series. They go on the road. They're going to play Atlanta and they're going to play Boston. And in my mind, at that point in time, I'm thinking, oh no, this is probably where the wheels just completely fall off. They take 2 out of 3 from Atlanta. Cool. The weirdness about Boston happens. They also get spanked in the first 2 games, then win the last one. And then you have the encouraging signs come back in the Red Series where they take 2 out of 3. And now this Cubs series where they take another 2 out of 3. And then you've got the Giants right around the corner. And the Diamondbacks have done very, very well against the Giants so far this year. They're back on the momentum train, right?
Yeah,
like everything is back to going their way again.
And to think it wasn't even 24 hours ago. In fact, it was, I'm going to do quick math in my head, about 18 hours ago, 19 hours ago. They're in the and we're going to talk about last night's game coming up in a moment. We're not going to talk about tomorrow's game yesterday.
We'll talk about it today, I promise.
But 19 hours ago, 18 hours ago, whatever the exact number is, they're down 4-0 in the 8th inning. And and I'm thinking to myself, watching that game from home, I'm thinking, this is the very small step beginning of the end for this team. It's starting to happen now where the reinforcements aren't coming fast enough. The lack of starting pitching is getting to them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. 19 hours later, you're talking about a series win. 19 hours later, you're talking about keeping pace still with the Padres who are winning and the Phillies who are winning. Those games are going on right now. But doing it against that team, doing it the way you did, and yeah, we'll talk about the amazingness of last night's game. But first, we have to talk about the amazingness of, and I know that's not a word, but I'm going to use it anyway. This guy right here.
McCann sets up inside. Swing and a miss. Got it with a fastball. Oh, Rodriguez was exquisite this afternoon against the Cubs as he strikes out 9 across 7 shutout innings.
2 hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. And let me tell you something about Eduardo Rodriguez after this game right here. And who else to credit on this one but our friends over at Diamondback Stats and Info.
We love those guys.
I don't know who's in charge of that account, but we salute you, Arizona Diamondback Stats and Info, because you just give us stuff that we love to talk about. Eduardo Rodriguez in 2026, Mitch, in 2 games against Atlanta, 4 games against the Dodgers, 2 against Milwaukee, and 1 against Chicago. Would you consider that to be the cream of the crop in the National League for the most part?
4 best teams in the NL.
That's 6, 8, 9 games against Atlanta, the Dodgers, Milwaukee, and the Chicago Cubs. 9 starts. Eduardo Rodriguez has a 1.81 ERA. He has a 1.02 whip. He has 46 strikeouts in 54 2/3 innings when the Arizona Diamondbacks are playing 4 of the best teams in the National League. That, my friend, warrants Cy Young Award consideration. I know he's not going to get it, but you talk about like votes, like needing to get a vote, top 5 votes. Yes, we're talking about that because in these moments where you're facing teams like this is the thing where we talk about the Diamondbacks and we say, if you can just get in, if you can get into the postseason, that is the reason why you can do something when you get there. That is probably reason number 1 why you can do something if you can get in there, because that guy right there is going to be your game 1 starter against whoever you play in the first round of the postseason. And I'll take that dude this year against any of those teams that the Diamondbacks have to play him in the playoffs.
Less flashy, but still impressing stats. Eduardo Rodriguez tied a season high for strikeouts in a game with 9, that which he did earlier this month against the Dodgers, as it turns out. Back-to-back scoreless starts, 0 runs over 5 or more innings. The last time he did that, May 4th through 10th, 2023 with the Tigers, which I think was his best Tigers season. And then just to further the point about important series wins at this time of the year, that's their first home series win against the Cubs since 2023.
Oh, wow.
Which I think, if I'm not mistaken, last year they had 4 games against the Cubs and they split them, so it's hard to win a series where you have 4 games and you split them. But still, getting a series win against the Cubs at home feels like it's been a long time, but 3 years is not that long ago either.
Since they righted the ship, and I was hoping we barely started the show, and we didn't make a rule about it, but I was wondering if we're going to go the whole show without naming Ketel Marte by name. The first 2 games against Boston, they were reeling, obviously, right? Like they were,
clearly.
I mean, the ship was just kind of teetering. Okay. In the 7 games since, they're 5-2. Now, I'm not saying that means they're better without him, but boy, have they found a way to not just survive, thrive without Ketel Marte. in this week's worth of games where Torrey's at least had a chance to right the ship a little bit. 5-2 in their last 7 without Ketel Marte.
I know I'm in Gambo's seat, and I know he's got much better sauces than I do, but at least from people that I'm hearing from.
Oh, hold on. Lauren's looking at me baffled. Mitch, you have sources?
There's good vibes. It's nothing to like.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, let's go
I'm
nuts
going to
about
prop
it.
this up. I want to give you your props here.
Especially emphasized by last night's win. There's really good vibes in the clubhouse right now, like a really good mood. In the clubhouse, and I love the idea of Bill Simmons when he brings up the Ewing theory, and you were already alluding to it. 5-2 now after those first 2 games without Marte. Does this continue? Do we look at it as, they're about to play the Giants. They've beat up on the Giants all year. It doesn't really matter. But if he comes back on time for that Philly series, and as soon as something starts to go wrong, I know that for a fact that people will immediately start pointing to that as the reason why.
We're not going to talk about tomorrow's game yesterday. We are going to talk about yesterday's game next here on the Burns and Gambo Show, because that very much may be the defining piece of the conversation right now about the Diamondbacks in addition to today's win. That's coming up. Burns and Gambo, Mitch filling in for Gambo.
Bickley and Marotta mornings.
Even though I do kind of roll my eyes when I hear football players talk about how we're going to surprise people, because that's the nature of football in August, if there's one person other than a quarterback who can affect that kind of change, it is a star running back. I learned this very early on in Chicago with Walter Payton. If Jeremiah Love takes the field for the Cardinals and what he unleashes on the NFL is similar to what we saw in that game against the Raiders, if he is that dude, that kind of running back, just through individual greatness, can lift up everybody on the team. If Jeremiah Love is that dude, then he can make that prophecy come true.
Bickley and Marotta, mornings on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey Arizona, Vince Marotta here. Start your engines. It's time to rev up the summer savings at Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa, and these truck deals are racing out the door. Get behind the wheel of a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 with 0% financing or up to $15,000 off MSRP. And for drivers who want serious muscle, the 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 offers 4.9% APR, an extra $2,000, and 0 payments for 90 days, or save up to $11,000 off MSRP. Plus, the 2026 GMC Canyon delivers 3.9% APR, $3,000 more for eligible trade-ins, and you guessed it, 90 days payment-free. Discover the truck of your dreams at Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa today, and don't get left in the dust, or shop online at EarnhardtBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
After all applicable incentives on select models, all offers with approved credit through GM Financial. See dealer for details. Offers end August 31st, 2026.
Being hurt in an accident can change your life, and we want you to be empowered in that situation, and that is why we tell you to call Sweet James. Hey, everybody, Dan Bickley here, and when one of our listeners got hurt in a motorcycle accident, he was shocked by the lowball offer he got from the insurance company, and he called Sweet James, and his new team of attorneys helped him get the medical care needed to get on that bike again, and then they fought tirelessly to deliver a $400,000 win. Now, no firm can guarantee outcomes, but if you're ever hurt in an accident, you need a team of local attorneys who have the care, the skill, and the resources to win the most for you, and Sweet James brings over 500 trials of experience to every case, big or small, and that is why they win 98% of the time, and they win big. Call Sweet James at 800-9-million. That's 800-9-million. Find them online at sweetjames.com. Proud partner of your Phoenix Suns.
Take your taste buds on vacation this summer at Sonic. Heat things up with the Tropical Heat Sonic Smasher. 2 hand smashed patties made with Angus beef drizzled with jalapeno pineapple glaze. Then cool down with a tropical cream slush with coconut, pineapple, and creamy vanilla soft serve. It's like a tropical vacation, minus the flight delays. Try the Tropical Duo for a limited time this summer at Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic.
Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Arizona, your summer upgrade starts now during the Sanderson Ford Summer Sales Event. Get 0% financing for 36 months, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance fees for 2 years, and $1,000 towards your down payment on select Ford models. Summer won't last forever, and neither will these deals. So hurry in today and choose no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense. Choose Sanderson Ford.
Must be financed through Ford Motor Credit OEC. Not applicable on specialty models. See dealer for select vehicles that qualify. apply. All offers expire 8/31/26.
To anyone who avoids HVAC repairs, it's time to leave it to the experts. With memberships that cover regular HVAC maintenance and worry-free repairs, Service Experts keeps your home healthy and happy. Visit serviceexperts.com to check out today's special offers and promotions.
Hey, it's Wolf. How is the Cardinals' preseason strategy going to affect Week 1 against the Chargers? We'll be talking Cardinals tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports 98.7, the Arizona Sports app, and the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
Swung on and hit high. It's hit deep. It's on its way. Good night. It's a game winner for Ryan Waldschmidt, and the Diamondbacks stun the Cubs 5-4.
Welcome back. It's the Burns and Gambo show here on Arizona Sports. Diamondbacks win today 2-0 to take the series against the Chicago Cubs. Jordan Lawler, a home run. The Diamondbacks tack on an extra run late in the game to give them a little bit of insurance. Quick moving game. Eduardo Rodriguez was great. Matthew Boyd was very good. Pete Crow Armstrong lost his mind, and as it turns out, he might have had a reason to. I just saw Bob Nightingale tweet out that the umpires acknowledged that they did miss that call. They did miss
There's
the balk.
a proper angle that shows that Erod's left foot went over the back of the rubber when he started.
And the umpires have acknowledged they couldn't review it. There was nothing they can do about it. So
does the run make a difference? Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, who knows? If that's it would be a 1-0 game. Cubs
for
at
them,
that point.
Lawler then ties it, and then they score again. Who knows?
If the game unfolds exactly the same way, but either way,
I'm sure a third person on this show would think differently, but that's besides the point. The noted silence says a lot. It's okay.
You care to comment?
She doesn't have to acknowledge.
She's dealing with a lot of grief on the YouTube chat right now. Which I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh at. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. That was terrible. That sounded terrible coming out. Like I'm laughing at your pain, but I got it. Okay, so Lauren and I were texting each other before the game today, and I knew she was there.
I was being very funny.
You were being very funny.
Thank you.
And I said, may the Diamondbacks kick your butts today. And it wasn't exactly like that, but it was a win. So take that, Lauren.
Yeah.
Take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was happy, though. Mid-game, though, I did get an opportunity to boo Craig Counts.
Of course, because you're juvenile.
Yeah.
Because you're just such a
As you
kid.
told me via text.
Yeah, I'm like, you're so juvenile. Come on, grow up, Lauren, for the goodness sake.
Really, only adding to this is the fact that after Waldy hit that walk-off home run last night, I turned the TV off, I walked into the pantry, I ate 3 Oreos.
See, that's funny, because I did exactly the same thing, but for just an entirely different reason. That was, look, I mean, it's not even his first walk-off of the month, for goodness sakes, right? And yet you start talking about moments of the season. Mitch, that game, they were as flat as could be. They were as comatose as could be. They had nothing in that game last night. It kind of reminded me of Sunday's game against the Reds, where for 6-7 innings they were just flatlined, right? They were just completely sleepwalking. Mm-hmm. And to think that the season, nothing against Waldschmidt, because obviously that's the moment.
Yes.
But to think that the season might have turned on a check swing, Gabby Moreno, foul fair, hits the bag ball, right? Yeah. With in the 8th inning with, I believe there were 2 outs in the moment when he did that. I mean, it's one of those. It's another one of those, every time you think they're done, they're not of moments.
You mean like this?
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
This is the ultimate Godfather 3 team. This is we've had that sound bite in our computer for God only knows how long.
March 17th, 2018 is what it's dated.
Okay, and we've played it God only knows how many times, right? Has there ever... Play it one more time for me.
Hold on.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to take you by surprise there.
I should have put it on the quick trigger that we just learned about anyway.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Has there ever been a team that encapsulates that more than the Arizona Diamondbacks this year? Has there ever been a team that... Ketel Marte, the rotations in shambles, we don't even know who 3 of the 4 starters are going to be this weekend against the San Francisco Giants. They look like they were toast through 8 innings of that game last night. And just when you're ready to take one more shovel full of dirt and throw it on them, Gabriel Moreno happens. Geraldo Perdomo happens. Tim Tawa walks. Jose Fernandez steals second base. Ryan Waldschmidt hits his second walk-off He's got 3 home runs in his career. 2 of them are walk-offs. One of them against the Dodgers, one of them against the Cubs. It's such a remarkable story that I can't wait to see what's next because I know something else is next.
Well, the hope is that they don't do what has made them the Godfather 3 team of the season, which is then fall flat against another inferior opponent, which, by the way, scoreboard watching right now, Giants were up 9-3 going into the top of the 9th against the Reds. It's now 10-9 Cincinnati in the top of that inning.
Ooh,
are you seriously about to tell me? Are you serious? Are they seriously about to tell you that this Diamondbacks team is about to do god-awfully bad things against this Giants team after exactly what they did against the Cubs the last 2 nights?
But to your point, what makes the Diamondbacks the ultimate Godfather 3 team of all time, when they did this against the Dodgers, what do they do? Lose 2 of 3 at home to the Rockies. And this Giants series is...
But to your point, it is going to get weird because I think they said Jose Cabrera is going to start tomorrow's game.
Yes.
And then there's unknowns about 2 of the other 3 games that they have to figure out because they lost Michael Soroka to the IL earlier this week.
I'm going to guess that it's going to be, and this is just a guess, Jose Cabrera, Cole Drake, Mitch Bratt, and Merrill Kelly this weekend against San Francisco. Now, I know San Francisco's bad, and I know the Diamondbacks have had their way with them. I mean, if you're not nervous about that, you're not paying attention. If you're not nervous about that series against, you should beat them. You should beat them. Well, let's
said that about the Rockies.
You said that, and I know we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit because we should be celebrating what Ryan Waldschmidt did last night. That was in a season full of moments that we'll remember, that might be the most memorable of them all. Maybe that's recency. I don't know. Is that recency bias or is that the most memorable moment of the 2026 Diamondbacks season?
Well, there was that walk-off. There was the walk-off that you mentioned earlier this month against the Dodgers.
There was Ketel's walk-off against the Dodgers. That was kind of a big deal. There was the comeback in Mexico City against San Diego. That was kind of a big deal.
We had Merrill's 9-inning masterpiece, but it was against the Rockies. We had Ketel's walk-off home run, but it was against the Giants. You start thinking about some of the wins that they've had, and you have to over-qualify them to the point that it feels less and less special. Last night felt special. You saw the stat in my email, right? And Steve Zinsmeister, who runs Diamondbacks pre- and post-game for the radio network, also dug it up. But the Cubs, who had scored, by the way, 19 runs against the Mariners in their series finale, then proceeded to outscore and shut out their opponents essentially up until they scored 30 straight runs.
Yeah.
The previous time that something of that ilk happened, where a team outscored their opponent 29-0, 30-0 over a 3-game stretch, 1876, which, as Steve Zinsmeister had in his notes last night and shared with us, was when Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone.
Wow. That's an all-time stat right there.
Yeah.
Literally an all-time stat.
You couldn't even call your friends about it the last time it happened.
Yeah, Ryan Waldschmidt, who, once again, reminds you that he was the one guy the Diamondbacks kept getting calls on at the trade deadline, and he was the one guy that just kept saying, nope. You're not gonna get him.
Something else we're going to talk about later. I know that people want to point out that they're frustrated with the at-bats they're getting from Lars Nootbaar and from Max Kepler, these left-handed hitters, these veterans, in favor of the rookies who are playing much better, particularly this month. And today we actually got to see Waldschmidt and Lawler and Carroll together in an outfield. And I know Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is on his way, and there's some tough decisions that are going to have to be made with some of the roster pieces, but it did feel good to see the fruits of the Diamondbacks' labor being used and being effective in this series against the Cubs.
No question about it. When we come back on the Burns and Gambo show, as the Diamondbacks are now on their way to San Francisco for the start of a 4-game series that includes a Saturday doubleheader. When we come back on the Burns and Gambo show, though, we will turn our attention to the Arizona Cardinals because Josh Sweat, maybe he is going to be ready for Week 1 after all against the LA Chargers. That's next on Arizona Sports.
The Arizona Sports YouTube channel. Just the local sports leader doing what we do on YouTube. Serve yourself some Arizona sports for live shows, podcasts, viral clips, shorts, and more. Subscribe to the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
Now's the time to save at Freeway Chevrolet with employee pricing for everyone. Plus, up to $12,500 off select new 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 model. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Savings include manufacturer rebates and dealer discount. Actual savings will vary by model. trim, equipment, and vehicle availability. Offer excludes tax, title, license, registration, and any optional dealer-added items. Purchase price includes $589 dealer value. Offer cannot be combined with other incentives or special financing unless permitted by the manufacturer. Contact dealer for details. Take new retail delivery by August 31st, 2026.
QC Kinetics helps active people stay active. People like David Boardman, police officer, competitive athlete, and gym owner who trains hard almost every day.
My body's taken a lot of abuse over the years. I've had multiple knee surgeries on both of my knees. I could barely run a mile prior to going to QC Kinetics. Doctors have all told me, hey, you are going to need knee replacements.
But QC Kinetics gave David great news.
We're going to give you the opportunity to have not one, but 2 healthy knees, and we don't have to cut you open.
And after David's regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics?
Since I've gone to them, I run 20, 30 miles a week. I really wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for QC Kinetics.
From knee pain to Ironman training.
It's a no-brainer.
Now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics to book your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-837-7246. In Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, and Chandler. That's 837-7246. 837-7246.
Who is Farm Bureau Financial Services? At our core, we're relationship builders. We're home and auto bundlers, life insurers, farm and ranch protectors, and retirement planners. We're neighbors, community members, and friends. We're the people you can count on now and for years to come. Find a Farm Bureau agent at fbfs.com/protect. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company.
The all-new Kia Seltos is here, and Earnhardt Peoria Kia has the one you're looking for. With a bigger body and a bold sport-tuned design, with an advanced digital cockpit, with enhanced safety features, and with a payment you'll love. Starting at only $239 a month, plus tax, with approved credit from Kia Finance. Cars you love from a trusted name in Arizona for over 75 years. That's Earnhardt. So get yourself a Kia Seltos at an awesome payment the no bull way at Earnhardt Peoria Kia today. Earnhardt Peoria Kia, 91st Avenue north of Bell Road, and always online at earnhardtpeoriakia.com.
24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year. Example VIN reference 19710. $37.99 to its signing. Excludes government fees. Tax, title, license, $699 document fee, $999 protection package and dealer options. Expires August 31st, 2026. See Earnhardt Peoria Kia for more details.
KMVP FM Phoenix, live from the Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort Studio. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
I'm Mitch Vareldis, and here's what's trending now. Sorry, Bernsey, we'll talk in a sec. Diamondbacks, they wrapped up a huge series victory over the Cubbies earlier today. Jordan Lawler's solo home run in the 7th broke the scoreless tie, and the D-backs went on to beat the Cubs 2-0. Eduardo Rodriguez was masterful. 7 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts in the win. Diamondbacks now hit the road. They're going to play 4 games in 3 days against the San Francisco Giants. And the Cardinals wrapped up their joint practice with the Packers earlier today. If you want to see the toe-tapping touchdown that Marvin Harrison Jr. had, it was pretty. Head on over to ArizonaSports.com and the Arizona Sports app for all the latest from today's practice. And that is what's trending now.
Hey, it's Vince Marotta. Join us Thursday morning. All the happenings from the not-so-frozen tundra in Green Bay and the joint practice between the Cardinals and Packers. That and a lot more starting at 6 on Arizona Sports 98.7, the Arizona Sports app, and the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
Sorry about that. I forgot you had to do updates, too.
I did as well, so
you're He-Man today.
It's fine. I have the power.
You have the power. You're He-Man today. You're doing updates and filling in for Gambo
don't have
today.
The awesome sword, unfortunately.
No. I don't think you'd get through security with that thing anyway, so I wouldn't even try. Darren Urban from AZ Cardinals is going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour. He is boots on the ground in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and he'll give us the lowdown on everything that went down today, because there was a lot that went down. Kind of reading the tweets of the various reporters who are there with the team, whether it's Darren, whether it's Teo Mackey, whether it's Mark McClune, whether it's Cam Cox. There were a couple of Danny Shurik is out there, obviously, with the Cardinals. And just kind of reading the tweets of practice. They're not allowed to shoot video or show video, though the Cardinals did seem to make an exception with the aforementioned Marvin Harrison
Some
Jr.
people got to shoot video.
Apparently some people
Can we call it reading the tweet leaves? Something like that?
Yeah, maybe, because it was a beautiful catch by Marvin Harrison Jr. and they all swarmed him when they did it. Look, it's Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice. We're not going to lose our minds about what they did today, but by all accounts, the Cardinals did very, very well for themselves today against the Green Bay Packers. That doesn't mean anyone's going to revise their win predictions for them.
No,
but it sounds like they competed and they got after it today, and their stars shone, and they kind of gave the Packers trouble. So, kind of put that in a box and consider it for what it's worth and keep it in perspective, all of that. But it sounds like it was a good day for the Cardinals as they were practicing against the Packers.
I'd rather all the reports be positive and, this was fun, and they were flying around and picking off balls, and they were making awesome toe-tapping touchdown catches, than the alternative, which is they got just like pushed around and beat up, or anything that we would have probably anticipated from a joint practice against the Packers team that has made the playoffs essentially every year this decade, right?
Well, remind me, I mean, you're the Broncos fan. They had the joint practices against the Broncos last year, right?
Yes, they did.
And if I remember right, they did terrible in those practices. I mean, again, it was just one day and it's just practice. But if I remember right, the reviews, and Lauren, I'm kind of looking at you too, if you remember it the same way I do. I remember it was kind of the same deal. We were reading some of the tweets from the practice that was going on. I was like, they don't look like they're playing very well in this joint practice. Like they're getting exposed. But again, it's you got to keep it in perspective and understand it doesn't mean everything. It does, but it's not nothing either. It's significant. It's something at this point.
Take it into account, but like you said, just we'll just put it over here for right now.
And then, of course, today there was, Jonathan Gannon giving a bunch of bear hugs to his former players. I think I read Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon had a big hug. There's the whole LaFleur thing. There's pictures of Mike and Matt's parents, and one of them's wearing red, one of them's wearing green. Okay, then there's the bike ride, and Trey McBride riding the bike, and there's the UW fan who's like, I have Buddha's bike. He's holding up a sign that says, I have Buddha's bike. Because he's the Husky fan, and Buddha goes right to him and takes the bike off to practice. But probably the biggest thing of today was Mike LaFleur acknowledging, Josh Sweat activated off the PUP and right according to schedule.
It was great to have him out there, and you can just, when you get some of those pieces out there, you can feel it within the other guys too. They were happy to see him. Again, it's according to plan. It's right on schedule in terms of when he was going to get out there. He'll be out there again today doing some individual drills, and we'll just kind of take it one practice at a time.
It does make you wonder. At least it makes me wonder. Not that we shouldn't have trusted them, but we all thought something suspicious was going on with Josh Sweat, and maybe there still is something suspicious. But here's Mike LaFleur almost like shrugging it off like, guys, this is exactly what we thought was going to happen. Almost like the plan all along was, we're just not going to play him at all in the preseason. We're going to give him basically training camp off. And when it comes time to where he and we think he needs this amount of time to get ready for the season, that's when we're going to activate him, and that's when we're going to go, as if that's just what everybody had agreed to from the start.
Does this put an end to any sort of conspiratorial talk show host thinking? Do you think that there's still a possibility that there's some sort of a guise put upon this whole week in particular, as people were quick to point out that this is Packers week?
No,
it's his former DC.
I don't think we're in the clear. I don't think we're good. I don't think we're okay. But I think it's. I also feel like it's being shrunk by the day, like I feel like each day we get closer to the season, I feel like, okay, maybe he's just going to be ready to go and play in week one, but it's not gone. It hasn't evaporated.
I think what would fully put an end to it is when we finally hear from Josh, because we've not heard from him all off season other than him replying to, a social media comment where it's like, this is what I do, leave me alone, or whatever the ilk of it was. We still haven't heard from Josh yet. And as encouraging as it is to hear Mike LaFleur say all these great progression-based things, as encouraging as it is that he's off the PUP list and we saw him at practice earlier this week with the guys, I still want to hear from him. And I'm sure there's at least some part of Josh, I don't know this for a fact, but I would think that there's a part of Josh that also wants to squash any sort of reported qualms that he could have with this organization.
If there are qualms to be squashed, like if he still has a grudge, if he's still wanting out, if he's still not happy. But I think you are 100% correct. The next step, and that will be a huge step in terms of dissolving this story to the point where you don't have to worry about it anymore. Hearing from him, hearing that he's fine, hearing that he's happy, hearing that he wants to be here, that there's no reason to worry about it. That is the next step of this. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm being naive in thinking that because Mike LaFleur is expressing confidence in the plan all along, that everything's good and we're fine. And maybe we'll learn a lot more this week. But it does certainly seem like, hey, he promised there was nothing to worry about and that he was going to be activated and ready to go to right on schedule. And boom, there he is.
I was going to say, to Mike's credit, he's been very straightforward. Not necessarily blunt, but he's been straightforward at least about what's going on without giving away too much information, of course, naturally, as he should. But he's not hiding all that much either. Like, he's just saying, this is what I know, and I know you guys are asking these questions, and maybe you don't believe me, but I'm telling you, this is what it is.
And that's where I think is the most, other than not hearing from Josh, that's what I think is the most curious part of this story, is that Mike LaFleur almost, not mockingly, but has said on a couple of occasions, look, I know you guys don't believe me. I know, almost like I know you don't trust me, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And that confidence that he has in that. And I think, too, what threw us all for a little bit of a loop was Monty Ossenfort's comments on the topic about 10 days ago.
Very quick about it.
Where hey, look, we're not trading him. We're not trading him. Well, that's not what we asked. We asked, does he want to be traded? And he kind of spoke a big circle around that and then ultimately got back to well, we're not trading him. Well, I'm sure you don't want to trade him, but does he want to be traded? And him not being super definitive about answering that part of the question, at least for me, kind of fueled that round of speculation like, did he ask out? Does he want out? But Mike's confidence in all this has been almost the counterbalance to that. Mike has been very, very assured in his conversations that he's not going anywhere and that the plan is for Josh Sweat to be ready to go by week 1.
So let me ask you then, because you and John yesterday, you were having a conversation about the simulated win totals, I think it was, and the Cardinals ended up at a 4.4 or somewhere around the 4 area.
It was 4.4, yeah.
So something in my mind that I've been wondering about over the last few hours is, okay, so Josh Sweat's healthy. We assume he's on track to play week 1. What if he does play week 1? And more importantly, what if they win? Like, how much does your perception of this team change if, A, Josh Sweat plays in week 1 and, if we're going to add an extra scoop of ice cream onto this, has a great impact against the Chargers? And B, what does that do for our long-term outlooks of this season if they go to Los Angeles, which relatively easy place to play, I would say, as far as road field, home field advantage. But they go out and beat a Chargers team that a lot of people have expectations on them making the postseason.
Short answer is not much, if only because I think anybody who follows the NFL the way we do and the way anybody who's listening does knows kind of wacky things tend to happen in week 1 that aren't necessarily indicative of
the
what's
Raiders
going
beat
to
the
happen.
Patriots last year.
Yeah, I mean, every year, I bet we could go back 5-6 years and look at week 1 results. We probably go back longer than that and look at week 1 results and go, okay, that was an outlier. That was an outlier. Like week 1 seems to be the home for the outlier in the NFL schedule for the most part. And so it would take a lot more than a week 1 win against a Chargers team that, by the way, their offensive line, but they've got sorts of issues.
Tyler Biadasz already out for a long time.
So it's going to take more than that for me to go, on second thought, let's revise the win total or let's figure something out. But it would be nice.
Because I just
nice for them to get a week 1 win.
So remember in 2021 when they beat the Titans that first week and they beat the Titans, beat them down. And I know we didn't go into the season thinking they were going to win 3 games or lucky to win 3 games. But then they won again in week 2 and then 3 and 4 and 5. Like, at what point do we just kind of accept the reality of the situation? And I know we're talking about a hypothetical 3 weeks from now. But the reason why the defense is going to succeed is because Josh Sweat is healthy and being an impactful player, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like this Chargers team does have a vulnerable part of its offense, as you mentioned, with Biadasz being out. that can be very easily exploited by the Cardinals defense if they're lucky.
We'll see. There's a long way to go, and when Josh speaks will be very, very interesting. Real quick, Mike LaFleur on James Conner, who still isn't doing 11-on-11 work.
That's too early for me to tell right now. I know it is starting to creep up, but that's a little too early for me to answer that.
So he's not being as definitive about James Conner and whether he's going to be available for Week 1 as he kind of has been about Josh Sweat in terms of the fact that he's coming back. He's looking good apparently, but they're being very, very cautious with him. And James Conner's not the most important guy like he used to be in years past. I understand. Sure. So it's a way different conversation with him than it is with Josh Sweat.
I'm just curious if he's how healthy is he, and how much of this is there trying to avoid losing him for the first 4 weeks of the season as well.
When we come back on the Burns and Gambo show, how could the Arizona Cardinals utilize roster gymnastics to give them the best possible roster? That's next on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
D-backs decision makers from the team's front office join Wolf and Luke Wednesday mornings at 11:45 for D-backs Front Office Focus. Brought to you by Canvas Annuity. The home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey, it's Gambo. Why choose Sanderson Ford? Because for over 70 years, Sanderson Ford has been doing business the right way, putting customers first and giving back to the community they call home. From online shopping to convenient delivery options, buying your next vehicle has never been simpler. When it comes to service, Sanderson Ford makes maintenance a breeze with mobile service plus pickup and delivery. Your vehicle gets the care it needs without disrupting your day. At Sanderson Ford, it's not just about selling, it's about honest pricing. It's about real value and helping you find the best deal for your budget and your family's needs. Check out the Ford Escape. Check out the Bronco Sport, the F-150. Always a great selection when you deal with Sanderson Ford. They're on 51st Avenue in Glendale, just south of Glendale, or you can go online at sandersonford.com. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, choose Sanderson Ford. Again, 51st Avenue in Glendale, or online at sandersonford.com.
Summer. Sonoran hot dogs, baseball games, and triple-digit temperatures. When Phoenix turns up the heat, keep your home running smoothly with American Home Shield. An AHS home warranty can help protect your wallet from pricey breakdowns on even your oldest appliances and systems like your AC, plumbing, or fridge. If they can't repair your covered item, they'll replace it. American Home Shield. Don't worry, be warranty. Sign up today at ahs.com. See ahs.com/contracts for coverage details, including limit amounts, fees, limitations, and exclusions.
If you've been dreaming about updating your home with some of today's hottest design trends, the Window Depot just made it easier. Black windows are in, and now you can get the bold, modern look without the special order wait. The Window Depot has new black-on-black vinyl windows in stock now, with durable vinyl construction, energy-efficient performance, and popular sizes ready to go. Get the look you want without the wait at the Window Depot's unbeatable prices. Shop the nearest location or visit thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here, and you've seen the billboards. Sweet James is everywhere. It's a fun name and a fun brand, but when you've been hurt in an accident and it's game time, Sweet James plays to win. They are unstoppable in their pursuit of justice, and they are the heavy hitter you need when dealing with the insurance companies. Sweet James Accident Attorneys is a world-class law firm with over 25 years of experience, more than 500 trials, and over $2 billion recovered for accident victims. They even have a full in-house trial team, and they win 98% of the time. Remember, having the right attorney can mean the difference between a $2,000 check and a $2 million settlement, and Sweet James delivers some of the biggest wins in the country, and they've been named best attorneys in America. So if you're hurt in an accident, don't settle for less. Call Sweet James at 1-800-9 million. That's 1-800-900-0000, online at sweetjames.com.
Jan on the street. Hi, it's Jan from Toyota. Summer's not over at the National Sales Event, so I'm taking to the streets to see how people are keeping summer fun going with a new Toyota. Excuse me, sir. How are you making summer last longer with your Toyota?
Oh, going mudding in my Tundra.
Everybody loves a mud bath. player with the jump shot. What about you?
Taking my RAV4 downtown to a rooftop restaurant to shoot my shot with Stacy.
Stacy's a lucky lady. Mom with the twins. Your turn.
Starting a true crime podcast in my Grand Highlander while the kids are at day camp.
Oh, I know the one. It's juicy. Man with the ball. And you?
Dropping my BZ to the park to play kickball with friends. Kickball is life.
I want that to be my life, too. Well, those are some great ways to extend summer. See you next time. Jan, on the street.
Event ends August 31st. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
The home of Arizona Cardinals football. Arizona Sports on YouTube. The app, 98.7 FM. Back to football. With Burns and Gambo. Preseason coverage brought to you by Bud Light.
We're, here to work and get our work in and not have any shenanigans or anything like that. So now on the flip side, it's cool. I get to see my parents today. There's going to be other friends and family there and all that kind of stuff. But it's, again, hard to explain how I'm not really focused on that.
Mike LaFleur speaking today before the joint practice against his brother's football team. Matt's at the Green Bay Packers practicing there at Lambeau. Of course, it was Jonathan Gannon. It was the Melton brothers. It was
J.
Mike and Matt.
And M. LaFleur.
Exactly. It's all the J. Loves.
It's going to be a fun season.
And all the M. LaFleurs and all of that. And it was, there were many, many, many storylines to look at with today's practice. And that's why we're going to have Darren Urban from azcardinals.com on. But on Sunday, it's a big day for the Cardinals. And they've already gotten a little bit of a head start on that with the Trey Benson news over the last 48 hours. Releasing him, having him clear waivers. Now he's back on the roster with the idea that Benson will probably reach some sort of an injury settlement and be off the roster. And, of course, when cut-down day comes on Sunday, Mitch, there's, is B.J. Ojulari going to be on that list? Probably. Is Elijah Jones going to be on that list? Maybe. Are there going to be some surprises? Are there going to be some names that we expect? But there was a really, I thought, good story today at ArizonaSports.com from our own Tyler Drake.
Shout out T. Drake.
Way to go, T. Drake. It made us think about creative ways the Cardinals can create extra roster spots in case there's a dude they don't want to get rid of. If there's a position that's kind of crowded, I'm thinking of the wide receiver room in particular. Like they're going to have to cut somebody from that room that they probably don't want to cut. Mm-hmm. They've got some guys there. Is there a creative way they could work around that? And Tyler Drake had a really interesting suggestion.
So there's a few of them. I want to mention, last year, they cut long snapper Aaron Brewer, eventually brought him back. That was a creative way to do that. Do they crunch things down in the tight end room? But what got U's and I's attention from Tyler was
U's and me's.
U's and me's, us's. I'm trying Italian, I guess. Would they cut Gardner Minshew and go with two quarterbacks to start the season, being Jacoby Brissett and Carson Beck?
Let's be clear, in defense of Tyler Drake, he was not advocating this.
No.
He was not saying, he's not reporting this.
I love his mustache and his RV. No, we are not advocating for this.
He's just saying, hey, look, if you're trying to create an extra roster spot, here's maybe a way you could do it. And his argument is based on the idea that Gardner Minshew is basically a middleman between Jacoby Brissett and Carson Beck. And if you've gotten to the point organizationally where Carson Beck is the next quarterback you're going to want to see anyway. Now, is Carson Beck healthy enough?
That was another thing that he talked about in his story about Beck's health.
Yeah.
Just how does that impact this decision?
Yeah, and that perhaps the roster move might be to put Beck on the injured reserve with the designation to return.
Yeah.
And then you free up a roster spot for somebody else, and then you bring him back after he's healthy. Now, that would really suck because then he's not able to do anything until he comes off that list. But there is, I think, logic to the idea of a lot of redundancy to have Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew on the same roster. We've said it 100 times, Mitch. They're basically the same guy. And if you want to think Brissett's a little bit better, okay, fine. Maybe Brissett is a little bit better. But for the most part, they're both there to kind of serve the same role. And if you really do want to get Carson Beck looks, is Minshew necessary on this roster? Thoughts?
The timeline is interesting too, because if we rewind to the beginning of free agency, and they essentially had Jacoby, Kyler, still technically speaking, and then Keaton Slovis, I think, was the third quarterback that they had. They signed Gardner Minshew, And we're thinking, okay, so you have 2 veteran guys, and I can't remember when the Jacoby wanting a little more money reports came out and him being away from the guys during the involuntaries.
OTAs, it was like April, May, I think, when those stories came out. Yeah.
After Minshew was signed here, right? Murray's released. Fast forward to April, when we know now about this Brissett stuff, and they draft Carson Beck with one of their top 100 picks, with the 65th overall pick, I think it was. Had they not, and Tyler points this out in his story, had they not come to some sort of agreement with Brissett, maybe it's reasonable to think Brissett goes somewhere else and then you just have Minshew and you also have Beck, and then you could put Keaton Slovis maybe on your practice squad and go to him there. But now, to your point, it is kind of a bit of a redundancy to have 2 veteran guys making, veteran money for this team. And you also have Carson Beck. Like, it doesn't make sense if you're trying to develop Beck at the same time to have 2 veterans as opposed to 1.
No, but here's where it makes sense, and here's why I think it's a little bit of a wild theory, and I like wild theories. I think it's kind of fun to talk about and think about. Here's where I'm a hard no on releasing Gardner Minshew, because then it forces you to potentially play Beck before Beck is ready. Jacoby Brissett gets hurt in week 3. Now you're really throwing Carson Beck to the fire, right? Now it's like we've talked 100 times on this show. Every show at the station has talked 100 times about when is the appropriate time for Carson Beck? When is the soft landing? When is the right time? How many games, et cetera, et cetera. What you don't want to do, where I'm thinking on this, you don't want to have to play Carson Beck out of sheer necessity, right? Like, oh, crap. Oh, you disagree? You think, hey, Brissett gets hurt in week 3? Go get him, Carson. Let's see what you got for the next 14 games.
Well, it's either he becomes Tank Commander Beck or he becomes the next answer. And look, to your point about maybe rushing him in is not the right thing to do and having a backup to Jacoby that's a little more experienced is the right thing. But again, we've said ad nauseum about the expectations for the season not being great. And if you're going to take a flyer on a quarterback in a weak quarterback class, you at least might as well see what you have of him before you decide what direction you go with QB. Because as we know, there's essentially 3 outcomes with this Beck scenario. They're super bad still, and then just draft one of these Wunderkind quarterbacks in this next draft class that's being amped up already. There's scenario B, which is also acceptable to me, which is they're good enough and just can accept that Carson Beck is the next guy for their QB room. But then there's the C scenario, which is the worst possible one, which is you're not good enough to avoid looking at a new quarterback, and you're also not bad enough to be getting one of these prime QB candidates that's coming out of the draft. But I do think that there is a scenario if you get to Beck sooner by some happenstance, you at least get your answer sooner as to what direction you want to go with this.
Yeah, I hear you. I do. I think that there is... we can all sit here in our own minds. I don't want to speak for Gambo, but I think on this one I can. I know for Gambo, 6 games, that's good. For me, it's closer to 8. I would just worry that if it's 12, if it's 14, now you're talking about a quarterback who's just legitimately not ready for that. Who's not ready for that, and who is, I look at Carson Beck as a lottery ticket, and I look at him as, I don't want to say that I don't care about blowing him up, but I also understand there's a certain disposability to Carson Beck a little bit. Like if it doesn't work out, fine, you just go draft somebody else next year and nothing ventured, nothing lost sort of thing. But I do also think that if you roll him out there in week 4 because you have to, the percentage of it failing, I think, grows almost infinitely, right? Like the percentage of this working with each week that passes by gets a little bit bigger and a little bit because you're not asking as much for him to do. If you're asking him to be the tank commander for 14 games, I think the percentage of chance that this fails just gets higher and higher with each additional week that you ask him to play. If that number gets, and I know I'm drawing a real fine line here. I'm saying 8 games is fine, 14 is too many. I don't know. I'm just throwing darts. I'm just taking a guess here. But that does seem like an awful lot for Carson Beck to play if he's not ready for it.
But there's also zero pressure on the Cardinals if it doesn't work out. Like, really the only pressure that exists for Beck to succeed is with Beck. Because if Beck fails, then the Cardinals are just in position to find somebody else. And if Beck succeeds, then it's like, great.
And
look at who we found.
And in either way, the Cardinals can say, hey, look, we tried. You know what? We tried.
Exactly.
Jacoby Brissett played. He got hurt. We drafted Carson Beck. We tried. We rolled him out there. We took a look. We see what we had, and we tried. And if it succeeds, they can say the same thing. Hey, we tried, and look at that. We struck gold.
Yeah.
We found it with Carson Beck. I mean,
Monty finds his golden goose. It'll probably be the headlines when that season ends.
When we come back here on Burns and Gamble with Mitch filling in, Corbin Burns, is it going to be this time next week that we see him pitching for the Arizona Diamondbacks? That's next here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Bickley and Marotta mornings.
Ryan Waldschmidt is now the first rookie to hit multiple walk-off home runs in the same month while his team was trailing. And listen, the greatest thing about something like this, I'm not saying Ryan Waldschmidt is going to be a superstar, but some athletes who have incredible moments of clutch behavior early in their career, it can change everything. Michael Jordan is the classic example. He makes that shot against Georgetown as a freshman, and the fact that he made that made him think, I'm special. Ryan Waldschmidt's probably waking up this morning thinking, you know what? I'm kind of the man.
Bickley and Marotta, mornings on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You know, I used to think all money managers were the same until I spoke with Fisher Investments.
Really? How different are they?
Fisher's investment counselors are dedicated to service, not sales, keeping clients up to date on their portfolio.
Well, they probably just invest in a bunch of mutual funds like I do.
Nope. They build a tailored portfolio based on their clients' personal goals, helping them stay on track for a comfortable retirement.
Well, they must make commissions selling products.
Actually, Fisher doesn't sell any commission-based products. They're a fiduciary, and they believe that's a conflict.
Then they have some kind of complex fee structure.
Nope. Fisher has a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of their client's portfolio. So they do better when their clients do better.
It sounds like Fisher really is different.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Fisher Investments. Clearly different wealth management. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey Arizona, Vince Marotta here. Start your engines. It's time to rev up the summer savings at Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa. And these truck deals are racing out the door. Get behind the wheel of a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 with 0% financing or up to $15,000 off MSRP. And for drivers who want serious muscle, the 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 offers 4.9% APR, an extra $2,000, and 0 payments for 90 days, or save up to $11,000 off MSRP. Plus, the 2026 GMC Canyon delivers 3.9% APR, $3,000 more for eligible trade-ins, and you guessed it, 90 days payment-free. Discover the truck of your dreams at Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa today, and don't get left in the dust, or shop online at EarnhardtBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
After all applicable incentives on select models, all offers with approved credit through GM Financial. See dealer for details. Offers end August 31st, 2026.
In baseball, every decision matters. One pitch can change the game. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And like a good manager, building a strong financial plan takes strategy and the right team.
Torey Lavello here. Jeff's right. In baseball, you can't just watch one part of the field. You have to see the whole game.
And that's how we think about financial planning. Most advisors just manage investments and refer you somewhere else for taxes or estate planning.
But the best teams work together.
Exactly. At Trajan Wealth, we built a family office model that brings everything together. Wealth, tax, estate. One team making sure every part of your plan plays well together.
That's why I trust Trajan Wealth. With my family's plan, they see the whole field.
Call Trajan today. 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, I'm Jen.
And I'm Daniel.
We're your average Arizona family. We have 2 kids.
Make around $85,000 a year.
And just bought an American-made car.
And I'm Andy Biggs. Because of the working families tax cuts that I delivered, a family like theirs saw their 2026 tax bill drop by almost $2,700, according to the Treasury. That means more money staying where it belongs, with Arizona families.
Like ours.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
The Labor Day sales event is going on now at your 13 Valley Chevy dealers. Get exciting offers on a head-turning lineup, including Silverado, Traverse, and Trax. Plus, check out Equinox with excellent efficiency and bold design. It's the SUV that lets you take on the world in style. We have the inventory and we have the offers. Visit valleychevy.com or go to one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers today. The Labor Day sales event going on now.
I'm Mitch Vareldes, and here is what is trending now. Diamondbacks picked up a huge series victory over the Cubbies. Jordan Lawler's solo homer in the 7th broke the scoreless tie, and the Diamondbacks went on to beat Chicago 2-0. Eduardo Rodriguez, he was masterful. 7 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts. 9 times he got the K in the win. That's right, Burnsy. Diamondbacks will now hit the road, play 4 games in 3 days against the San Francisco Giants. And the Cardinals wrapped up their joint practice with the Packers earlier today. They got to ride the bikes around the area. Awesome videos to see there. Talking about awesome videos, the toe-tapping touchdown that Marvin Harrison Jr. had, yeah, it was pretty. You can watch it right now on ArizonaSports.com and the Arizona Sports app. Is it 4:30? It is 4:30. So I got to tell you about the great people of the Fiesta Bowl High School Football Showdown on CW7 Arizona. You can watch it Thursday night as Red Mountain takes on Castile. Coverage will start at 6:30.
Hey, it's Luke. Do the Diamondbacks need to find a way to win this series coming up against the Giants? We're previewing it tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports 98.7, the Arizona Sports app, and the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
Yes, Luke. Yes.
Yes, they do.
Shouldn't be that hard. Come on now.
I think we're entering... Look, I mean, there's 28 games to go in the baseball season. It's all going to be really interesting and compelling, especially
They've got a mix of teams that are already going to be in, teams that are not going to be in, and teams that are fighting to get in the month of September.
Yeah, I mean, just think about the next, and I know we're always doing this as Diamondback followers or fans or whatever you want to call us, or whatever you call yourself. But we're always looking at like 2-week chunks and going, oh man, these 2 weeks are going to be so big. Oh, these 2 weeks, they're going to be so big. Like we were talking about that with the 2 weeks that we just kind of wrapped up, right?
Yes.
With the Braves and the Red Sox and the Reds and the Cubs.
We're in hyperbole season with this team.
Yeah, it's the hyperbole right now. But now consider these next 2 weeks for the Arizona Diamondbacks, okay? You're about to play a 4-game series against the San Francisco Giants.
In 3 days.
In 3 days. You're playing a doubleheader on Saturday, an off day Sunday, and a previously arranged deal with San Francisco from months ago.
Yep.
We already know that of your 4 starters for that series, one is going to be Jose Cabrera. He's tomorrow, so he's going to get called up and get a start.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Merrill Kelly is going to start one of the games on Saturday.
By timelines.
Yeah, by timelines. It hasn't been announced, but that's his day to pitch. We presume the other 2 games will be thrown by Mitch Bratt and then maybe Cole Drake, maybe Tommy Henry, maybe who was the other?
Dylan Ray's on the 40, but he's not been up all year.
Okay, so I mean, basically 3 of the 4 games you're going into against the Giants, you're probably going to be pitching somebody that, let's be honest, you probably don't want to be pitching. If we're just calling it like it is, no offense to any of those guys, you really don't want to turn to any of those options right now. But the Giants are the Giants. They're terrible, so that's interesting.
Yeah, this is the time to turn to them, though.
That's fair. Then you fast forward to the Phillies. Here comes Cattell. Then you fast forward to the Astros, and here comes Corbin Burns. At least maybe here comes Corbin Burns.
Maybe.
Here's Torey Lovello yesterday pregame talking about Corbin Burns.
When he's ready, he's going to take the bump. He's not going to piggyback with anybody. So his next outing, I think, will be in 4 days. This was a short outing, so he's going to. I think Saturday is his next target day in Reno, if I can remember correctly. And then beyond that, we'll figure out what the next parts of this puzzle look like. Getting Corbin back at 3-45 is the conversation. Is that going to be good for him? Is that going to be good for us? What does our bullpen look like at the time? We have a very busy weekend in San Francisco. 4 games in 3 days. So we'll get through the weekend and then chop it up that way. At that time, we'll also have more information about how this next outing goes for Corbin. And I'll keep you posted as to where that's at. I know there's some wildfires up in Reno, so we're trying to figure out where he goes for that outing. But I don't know what that answer is. I just like the idea of putting Corbin Burns' name in the lineup. Whenever that happens, I'm going to be really excited about
Read between the lines, and there's at least, and maybe it's the dominant possibility of Corbin Burns making one start at Reno or wherever, getting to his 3 innings and 45 pitches, and then the next time he takes the bump, it's for the Arizona Diamondbacks against the Houston Astros next Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, which seems nuts to me. It just seems like that. Because I just don't know how deep he's going to be able to go and how much he's going to be able to give you and whether he's actually ready for that or not. But I also know they've got a very large medical staff over at the Diamondbacks. I'm sure they're not going to put him in any kind of harm's way. It becomes yet another milestone, Mitch, of, I wonder what's going to happen when this happens. I wonder what's going to happen when that happens. I wonder what's going to happen when they pitch 3 guys they probably shouldn't in a 4-game series against the Giants. What happens when Cattell comes back? What happens when Lourdes Gurriel Jr. comes back? What happens when Corbin Burns comes back? What does he give him? And is it just as simple as, I'm writing Corbin Burns' name in the lineup tonight. It is all good no matter what, because that's Corbin frickin' Burns out there.
What are the odds that a baseball team employs 2 dudes named Corbin that are absolute psychopaths when it comes to getting through injuries and injury recovery? Because it just seems rare.
I think young parents out there should be naming their kids Corbin in honor of that.
Yeah. Take note of this, young parents, young soon.
Corbin's a great name. Yeah, go for it.
For a boy or a girl. Let's put it out there. This would be significant in terms of everything that has happened with this rotation this season. This was one of the key talking points as to why maybe the Diamondbacks weren't as aggressive as they could to have been. Some people say should to have been at the trade deadline when they were, at the front door ready to welcome Clay Holmes, and then instead the Cubs swoop in and offer a little bit more, or any of the other starters that could have been out there that could have been had. This is why. Is because you want a spot available for the guy that you signed to be the presumed ace a year ago, was pitching well enough to be the ace, and then has the first significant injury of his career. And it's like the rear view mirror scene from Jurassic Park.
It's objects in the mirror are closer than they appear.
He's getting close. He's getting really, really close.
He is, but I guess that's where, and we don't know the answer to this. We won't until we see him. I want to know what the distinction is between Corbin Burns, the name, and Corbin Burns, the pitcher, right now. I understand it. I understand Troy Lavello. It would make us all feel better to know that tomorrow's starter, next weekend starter, that Corbin Burns is back. It's Corbin Burns. But is he ready for that? Especially for a team that, Erod's been great. Merrill Kelly's been the wildest roller coaster ride of all
month.
Yeah. So what is he? Who is he? And what he's going to be? It's almost impossible to know. Brandon Pfaadt's been good, though the long ball's starting to bite him in his last couple starts a little bit. So that's something that kind of bears watching.
Yep.
I mean, there's a real need to get Corbin Burns back, and I just don't know if the name Corbin Burns, if the game is going to match the name just yet. And if it's asking too much for a pitcher who hasn't thrown in a Major League Baseball game since June 1st of last year to be the savior for this team in the rotation. That seems like a big ask, Mitch.
So then let's play it out. If Corbin Burns, the player of 2026 and the month of September of 2026, is only a guy that's going to be hard capped, I should say. Max of 60 pitches or max of 5 innings, whichever comes first. If that's all you're going to get from Corbin Burns through the month of September, I'm nervous. Now, bullpen's been good enough. Maybe they cover it, but they also just designated for assignment the guy that they brought in to be the veteran, experienced long guy because Zach Littell was not delivering on that. Granted, I've liked what I've seen from Gerardo Carrillo. Dre Jameson, it's been up and down for him this year. Some injury, some on-field performance. But if you get the Corbin Burns that is unafraid and just willing to go out there, throw strikes, and go deep into games, then I like the Diamondbacks' odds a lot better than I do if it's the truncated version of Corbin Burns.
Yeah, I mean, look, nobody doubts he's a dog. And I mean that in the nicest I mean that in the way Torey Lovello described his team as dogs last night after they won that game. Corbin Burns is a dog. And from what I've been told, they've had to, almost restrain him from doing more. Like he's just chomping at the bit to do everything he possibly can. I don't doubt him. Is his body willing? To your point, though, this again circles back to the whole point of this exercise, I think, in taking 2 or 3 from the Cubs. If you can get to the postseason and you can start to build brick by brick, piece by piece, what Corbin Burns is able to do,
he can certainly be built up for an October run.
That's what we're talking about now, right? It's like, can Corbin Burns help get you there? Maybe. Can Corbin Burns help you do some damage when you do get there? Oh, yeah, you bet he can. You bet he can. And that's where the trade-off lies. That's where I don't know what it's going to look like in September, but boy, if they can get to October and Corbin Burns is now built up to 5 innings, 6 innings, back to where he should be, now you're talking about a literal game-changing moment for the Diamondbacks and what they're capable of doing in October.
So with the results of today so far, Miami's far enough behind that I won't include them in this part of the conversation, but Philadelphia now just 3 games ahead of the Diamondbacks. San Diego now just 1 game ahead of the Diamondbacks for that last wild card
spot. They both won today. They already played.
San Diego won. Philadelphia won.
Everybody won. Diamondbacks won.
And a lot of teams are thanking the Diamondbacks for catching a couple games on the Cubs the last 2 days as well. It's not out of the realm of possibility anymore. It feels dire because they're not in that 6th postseason spot or even the 5th postseason spot right now. But it feels less dire because they got the thrilling walk-off win last night, the really gritty shutout win today, and now you're about to take on a dumpster fire for the next 4 games. This is the pick-me-up, right?
Should be.
And then you get to add Corbin Burns to that a week later. It's like, oh, I'm really feeling the energy right now.
The new Cardinals Corner podcast is out. Tyler Drake, Lauren Koval.
Who put that promo in there?
They project the Cardinals' 53-man roster ahead of Cutdown Day. Find it on ArizonaSports.com, the app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Jeremiah Love's probably not used to this. The Arizona Cardinals are underdogs in every game this season, and he's clearly processing that. We'll talk about it next here on Arizona Sports.
Live streaming audio, podcasts, video highlights. The Arizona Sports app has all this and more from the local sports leader and D-backs play-by-play.
Marte grounds it to first, and it's under the glove of Sheets. That's into right field.
Download the Arizona Sports app, presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
Hey, renters, it's Gambo, and I'm going to do some math for you really quick. If you're paying $2,200 a month in rent, that's $26,400 a year going straight to your landlord. 5 years of that, and you've handed somebody else $132,000, and you own nothing. A mortgage payment in that same range builds equity every single month. That's your money in your house working for you. So here's what I want you to do. Call the Lund Mortgage team today at 623-889-0130. Tell them you want to get a house, you want to get out of renting, and within a few hours, they'll give you a yes or a no and all the information you need. And here's why Lund. Great pricing you can trust. Lund Mortgage is not a company looking to mark you up. They're a company that genuinely wants you to win. They're in your corner from day one. Right now, they're also covering the appraisal on every purchase loan they close. So give them a call today at 623-889-0130. That's 623-889-0130, or go to lundmortgage.com.
Oh, it's Wolf, and it's on. It's the Labor Day credit forgiveness event at Tim Hovick's Santan Ford. Look, maybe your credit's not so good or even a bankruptcy. It happens. Here's another thing that can happen. Santan Ford gets you approved. Approved. Out the door and on the road in your new Ford, so bring it. The team is ready to work every angle, so get you into the new ride you deserve. It's the Labor Day credit forgiveness event at Tim Hovick's Santan Ford. Head on over to the Santan 202 freeway at Val Vista Drive in Gilbert.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Wolf, you've had All Pro Shade Concepts at your house for a couple of years now. What is one thing you tell your listeners about them?
Oh, buddy, you gotta have shade.
Exactly. You want to cool down your patio?
You gotta have shade.
That's right. And how about a little privacy?
You gotta have shade.
Want a comfortable outdoor space for your whole family to enjoy?
You gotta have shade.
Wolf, can you say anything else?
Do like I did. Get your free estimate at allproshade.com. That's allproshade.com. Because you gotta have shade.
Hey, it's Vince Marotta letting you know the Ford Summer Sales event is still heating up at Earnhardt Ford in Chandler, and the temperature on these deals is off the charts. Step inside and discover something refreshing, crystal clear pricing, a relaxed and welcoming atmosphere, and savings so real you can feel them in your pocket. Now that's 75 years of doing things the right way for Arizona. Right now, take $5,000 off MSRP on all 2026 Ford Bronco Sport models, $6,500 off MSRP on all 2026 Ford Explorers, and even $9,000 off MSRP on all 2026 Ford F-150, STX, XLT, and Lariat models. The window is closing and the temperature is rising at Earnhardt Ford. Shop local, shop Earnhardt Ford. No bull for 75 years and going. That's Earnhardt Ford in Chandler or online at earnhardtford.com.
After all applicable offers on select new models, exclusions apply. $0 security deposit. Discount examples on select available 2025 Bronco Sports and 2026 Explorers. Special APR financing with approved credit on select available 2026 F-150, Bronco, and Explorer models. See dealer for details. Offers end August 31st, 2026.
The Burns and Gambo Social Poll.
She's been strangely silent today on the other side of the glass. Muted by her own disappointment.
She doesn't want to talk to us.
No, she doesn't. Unlike her favorite player, Pete Crow Armstrong, I just saw on Twitter he apparently gave
I listened to the full thing.
a 5-minute answer about the balk not being called.
He answers a few other questions.
Oh, does he?
He does.
It's not just that. Okay, if you missed it today, Pete Crow Armstrong was standing on third base, lost his mind when a balk wasn't called on Eduardo Rodriguez that would have given the Cubs the lead in the sixth inning, would have made it 1-0. You could make an argument that Pete Crow Armstrong should have been ejected from that game. I mean, he went berserk over at third base. But he didn't, and the Diamondbacks got out of that inning. Bottom of the next inning, Lawler hits the home run, and the whole game is right there in the sixth inning, right? And then later after the game, the umpires acknowledge, yes, we should have, in fact, called
oops,
balk.
we screwed up.
Our bad.
We can't review that, sorry.
Because there was a video.
A lot wrong about the process,
There was an angle of it where it was like, oh, yeah, that was a balk. That was a balk. Pete Crow Armstrong was right.
Lauren doesn't like the answer regardless.
No, and they tell him that during his 5-minute answer.
What, that the umpires said that he was right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I might have to go watch this now.
He gives a really, pretty well thought out answer.
Here's the thing,
and
though.
he shouts out Erod being great.
And Erod was great. And here's the thing. I'm not just saying this just because you've got a live mic in front of your face. I don't hate the Cubs.
No.
I think Pete Crow Armstrong is one of the most exciting, coolest. He is just a live wire, dude. He is in freaking tense, right?
Yeah.
And I think I know it fueled what few Diamondback fans were there today. Their happiness about not only the win, but kind of he had a terrible series against the D-backs, so it drove that. Yeah.
My favorite post that I've seen in reference to Pete Crow Armstrong was the Cubs traded away the most electric player that they've ever had in their franchise history and got back the most electric player they've ever had in their franchise history.
About how it went down. So anyway, I'll go watch that video when I get a sec. But you are being awfully quiet in there. What's the poll question today?
Well, also it's just me in here. today.
Unless you're
Mitch
just
is in there.
here, so it's just you by yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm curious if I'll be allowed back in tomorrow. If she likes it better than the two of us in there.
There's a wedge over there. If we're going to send you
put
to
in the timeout
we're
corner.
Send you to your
Banishing
room.
Mitch over there.
You've been banished to the Sammy Sabolka wedge because he's the only one who uses that room. He's the only one who ever uses that room. Nobody else uses it ever.
No.
So it's Sammy Sabolka's memorial studio when he's not dead, but it's a studio. I guess that came out the wrong way. It's just where he works.
We
Nobody
just
else
don't
does.
have another name for the wedge, and he's the only one that uses it.
The Sammy Sabolka wedge is what we'll call it. Let's pull a question today.
Poll question today has to do with something that you guys actually touched on last segment, but we're asking you to boil it down. Who do the Diamondbacks need more for the rest of the season?
Okay.
Ketel Marte or Corbin Burns?
Who wrote this one? I would love to know because it's good.
It's a good question.
I got to be honest. The pitching has just been such an up and down experience. And the offense has kind of been what the offense has been for most of the month.
Uh-huh.
So I defer the guy that I've not seen all year. I'll go with Corbin.
It feels wrong to say Corbin Burns, but I'm going to say Corbin Burns. Because at least I don't have to question Corbin's want to.
And he'll at least text somebody if he's running late.
At least I don't have to question
At least
that.
I would hope.
Ketel's motivation is a mystery to all of us. There's no mystery to the motivation of Corbin Burns whatsoever. So I'll say Corbin, even though it feels wrong to answer the question that way.
You want to guess some percentages?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to say 63-37 Ketel.
50-50.
87% Corbin Burns.
Boy.
13%.
Now, if
Ketel
that
Marte.
if that isn't an encapsulation of a bridge fully being ash in the river,
Well,
right?
That, and in their last 7 games without Ketel, they're 5-2. And not that proves anything. That is not. I know when Gambo sits in that chair, if Gambo were sitting in that chair right now, he'd be screaming from the mountaintop, addition by subtraction, and I just don't know if that applies to Ketel
harder in
Marte.
baseball,
It's
too.
really hard in baseball. It's easy. It's
easy in
easier-
basketball because there's 5.
Yeah.
It's easiest if it's the quarterback because he runs the whole game.
But with each
very hard in baseball.
passing game and with each series win, you do start to wonder a little bit. Is there something to
the Ewing theory?
This addition by subtraction deal when it comes to Ketel Marte? Because clearly, as those numbers indicate, this is a fan base that is just fed the you-know-what up with Ketel Marte.
Not for nothing, Tommy Troy in his rehab appearance last night, second base. Second base. I don't think they need the outfield help anymore, but they definitely need the middle infield help if he can provide it.
Yeah, they're going to get destroyed in a trade, but the more I think about it, the more I don't think Ketel Marte is going to be on this roster next year. They'll get nothing for him. They'll get absolutely destroyed in that deal, but I don't think he's going to.
What comes first? Ketel gets traded or the Players Association and the Just kidding. Just kidding.
This is Jeremiah Love, who I saw doing some light work on the side today, just some very light, almost prancing, I don't know how else to describe it. He was just kind of prancing on the sideline.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, right, but he was moving. It wasn't like he was on crutches or anything.
Yeah.
On the CBS Sports Selected show, in which he's like, wait, we're underdogs in every game?
Excited for this season? Oh, yeah. We're going to surprise a lot of people. Yeah. How y'all feeling?
Pretty good. Like, we the underdogs in every game we play, which is kind of crazy. It ain't never happened to you before. I never really went throughout my career or was an underdog in any game, honestly, other than, a couple games in college. I think we're going to do pretty good. A lot of people kind of sound, which is cool. Like, they ain't really seen the work we've been putting in, none of that type stuff. So they just going based off what happened last season. So I understand. But I think we're going to shock a lot of people, too. We got a lot of good guys, a lot of hungry guys.
It sounds like they're in a pool, they are. Just in case anyone's, in case anyone's wondering what if it sounds like they're sitting around by a pool.
Whenever this was filmed, I'm not 100% sure. I think there's 3 individuals in this, and this is part 3 of this series with Jeremiah Love, Antonio Williams, who's on the Commanders, and Jacoby Lane, who's on the Ravens. And I think they're all represented by the same agency, and there's some sort of deal where they've been following them since college, through draft, etc. The point being is that this is almost similar to when they drafted Kyler. And Kyler was coming from a constant situation of winning. Jeremiah Love coming from a situation of winning. And now you're expected to be bad, like really, really bad. And maybe they have some fun games where Jeremiah Love shows out and he gets like 150 all-purpose yards and a couple touchdowns or whatever. But in general, like, he's not used to the idea of being on a team that's just bad or projected to be as bad as they're projected to be.
Yeah, no, he's not. We have a lot more to say on this, but a lot went down today in Green Bay, Wisconsin, between Jonathan Gannon, the LaFleur brothers, all of the practice standouts, everything. We needed some boots on the ground reporting from the scene, and that's exactly what we're going to get from Darren Urban, lead writer over at azcardinals.com. He'll join us live from Green Bay, Wisconsin next on the Burns and Gambo Show with Mitch Vareldas filling in.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
It sounds like he didn't want to play last Monday. Torrey said you have to, and he's like, then I'm out. That's what it sounds like. If that's the case, he's going to have to explain that to his teammates.
So once again, Ketel Marte, full apology to your teammates with no excuses. No excuses whatsoever. Full apology. Full stop. Number 2, shut your mouth. No social media stuff. Don't say anything about it. Eat it up. Eat up what you did. And number 3, do your job. Those 3 things. Full apology, shut your mouth, do your job.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
All right, back here to tell you about Liberty GMC, 87th Avenue and West Bell Road in Peoria, or shop and buy online all the time from the comfort of your living room by going to libertygmcaz.com. I saw one just a couple of days ago on the freeway. It was a beautiful, brand new GMC Sierra 1500. It was like that slate gray color. It's the best truck out there on the market. It's got all the tech. It's got everything you'd ever want, all the power, haul everything anywhere you want to go. Everyone's going to be super comfortable. And right now at Liberty GMC, not only do they have a wide selection and a huge variety, you can save $12,500 off the 2026 GMC Sierra 1500. Or you can take advantage of 2.9% financing on the GMC Sierra 1500. Either way, you're getting yourself the best truck on the road, and you're getting in your garage. Other deals, tons of deals right now at Liberty GMC, 87th Avenue and West Bell Road in Peoria. Shop and buy online all the time. LibertyGMCAZ.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, it's Paul Calvisi with Matt Dagas from Bright Wealth Management. And Matt, a lot of people expect their taxes to go down in retirement, sure, but that's not always the case.
It's not, and for most people, it's the opposite. Every dollar coming out of a 401k or an IRA is taxed at ordinary income. Now you add in Social Security, required distributions, and you've got a serious tax problem.
And worse, people don't see it coming.
Not until it's too late to do much about it. The window to reduce your lifetime tax bill is before retirement or early in it. After that, your options are limited.
All right, so what's the move then?
Roth conversions, smart planning, bracket management, real strategies that actually reduce what you owe, but you need a plan, not guesswork.
And Bright Wealth puts that all together?
That's exactly what we do. Call 844-726-9116 for a complimentary tax review. Call now, 844-726-9116 or brightwm.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is for educational purposes only.
Hey, it's Bodie in Victoria. We started newacunit.com because we kept seeing homeowners get confused and taken advantage of.
Buying a new AC unit shouldn't be stressful.
So we built a company we'd want to buy from. Answer a few questions online and see your price instantly.
No hidden fees, no surprises. Just a seamless experience backed by our 100% money-back guarantee.
See how simple replacing your AC can be. Visit newacunit.com today.
Save thousands, save time. Buy online. newacunit.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The all-new Kia Seltos is here, and Earnhardt Peoria Kia has the one you're looking for. With a bigger body and a bold sport-tuned design, with an advanced digital cockpit, with enhanced safety features, and with a payment you'll love. Starting at only $239 a month, plus tax, with approved credit from Kia Finance. Cars you love from a trusted name in Arizona for over 75 years. That's Earnhardt. So get yourself a Kia Seltos at an awesome payment the no bull way at Earnhardt Peoria Kia today. Earnhardt Peoria Kia, 91st Avenue north of Bell Road, and always online at earnhardtpeoriakia.com.
24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year. Example VIN reference 19710, $37.99 to its signing. Excludes government fees, tax, title, license, $6.99 document fee, $9.99 protection package, and dealer options. Expires August 31st, 2026. See Earnhardt Peoria Kia for more details.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Live from the Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort Studio.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
I'm Mitch Vareldis, and here is what is trending now. Diamondbacks wrapped up a huge series win over the Cubs this afternoon. Jordan Lawler's solo home run in the 7th broke the scoreless tie, and the D-backs went on to defeat the Cubs 2-0. Eduardo Rodriguez, he was masterful. 7 shutout innings. 9 times he got the strikeout in the win. Diamondbacks will now hit the road to play 4 games in 3 days against the San Francisco Giants. And the Cardinals wrapped up their joint practice with the Packers earlier today. If you want to see the toe-tapping touchdown that Marvin Harrison Jr. had, it was pretty. You can watch it right now on ArizonaSports.com and on the Arizona Sports app. This report is brought to you by the Window Depot. Did you know the Window Depot is more than just windows? We have doors, skylights, cabinets, countertops, even flooring. Proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks, online at thewindowdepot.com.
Hey, it's Wolf. How is the Cardinals' preseason strategy going to affect Week 1 against the Chargers? We'll be talking Cardinals tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports 98.7, the Arizona Sports app, and the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
Well, between, all of the commonalities, the joint practice, the LaFleur brothers, the Jonathan Gannon reunion, the bikes before practice, we needed boots on the ground reporting from the
Sturdy
Cardinals.
Boots, too.
Experienced boots reporting from on the ground in Green Bay, Wisconsin, to tell us everything that went down. Because just following along on social media, it seems like a lot went down today from this joint practice. So joining us right now on the Burns and Gambo Show with Mitch Vareldis filling in, our good friend from azcardinals.com, Darren Urban, who joins us here on Arizona Sports. Darren, how are we doing today?
David Charles, how are you?
Fantastic, my friend. Good to have you back in Green Bay, where the cheese curds are plentiful and the burgers are buttery. So watch your intake, okay, when you're back there. Be careful with your intake, all right?
Of course, the last time I was here, you were nice enough to invite me over for your buddies weekend, and I got to see the inside of one of those cool across the street from Lambeau's Green Bay houses. So that was pretty... That was a good memory.
2 years ago, yeah. Our backyard literally looked at Lambeau. It was really cool, and we did. You were able to kind of hang out with us a little bit. It was a lot of fun. I'm kind of envious, actually. That and the fact that it's like 35 degrees cooler where you are right now. Oh, I'm sure you're loving it.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. I got to tell you, when we got out there today, and it was like 75 and breezy. I actually got a little windy a couple of different times, but it was so nice and breezy. And then somebody was telling me it was supposed to get up to 117 today, and I'm like, yeah, I can hang out here for a couple days.
I was going to say, don't tell me you needed to put on a jacket. Whatever you do, don't say
No.
I needed to put on a hoodie, because I might just punch you the next time I see you if you say that, all right? Don't do that.
Zayvon Collins did say it was cold. Now, obviously,
oh my gosh,
tongue firmly in cheek, but it was pretty fun.
All right, so you've covered I don't know how many joint team practices you've covered in your lengthy career covering the NFL. Is it possible to win one of these things? And did the Cardinals win today's practice?
I'm going to say this. It was funny. Mike LaFleur ahead of time said he told his team, we're not out here to win the practice. I don't even know what that means to win a practice. And generally, I would say absolutely. But I will say this. And actually, I just mentioned it on the podcast we just did that will be up soon. I've been around enough joint practices where I know for the last few that the Cardinals have had usually haven't looked all that awesome. And you came out of it feeling like, okay, the other team felt like they were a little further ahead than the Cardinals were at the time. I feel like the Cardinals came out ahead on this practice. It did not start awesome. Defensively, they were giving up a lot of completions. Offensively, the first play was a drop by Harrison. The second play was a run that went nowhere. The third or fourth play was a drop by Michael Wilson. It was ugly. But that didn't last super long. And by the mid part of practice, once they got to red zone work, both the offense and the defense started pulling ahead, especially the offense. And then when we got to the 2-minute drill at the end where everybody was just working on one field and you were watching one sequence of plays, the Cardinals offense scored both times that they had the ball. The Cardinals defense stopped the Packers both times they had the ball. So did they win it? I don't know if they won it. It doesn't mean jack squat, but I will say they came out of it. They came out of it looking pretty good, and I think you could tell the emotions of some of the players, especially when the first team offense scored the touchdown on the 2-minute drive, and Marvin Harrison made the great toe tapping catch, and then with the way it was set up, they were down. They were, quote, unquote, down 7, so they get the touchdown. They went for 2, and McBride got it. And in both situations, the team just erupted the whole entire roster. So that was kind of cool to see.
I was going to ask you about Marv because I think we're all glowing in the, wow, look at the toe-tapping touchdown that he had and how shiny and sparkly that object is. But from what you're allowed to say about what else went down at the practice today, what else did you notice in particular about Marv outside of the flashy touchdown catch?
Well, and to be honest, Mitch, there was nothing that you couldn't say about today's practice. You just couldn't take video of it.
Okay.
But you could talk about whatever you wanted to. I thought Marvin looked solid. I mean, the best, in my opinion, and it wasn't really even close. And I had my cohort, Zach Gershman, is on the trip. So he was watching the Cardinals defense against the Packers offense. So I saw a lot more of the Cardinals offense. The best player on the field, bar none, to me, was Trey McBride. I mean, I know that's a stunner that the All-Pro tight end would be the best player, but when they were struggling early, they went to him a couple of times, and it seemed to perk them up a little bit. That doesn't mean Marvin didn't have a good day or Michael didn't have a good day, but Trey McBride was the best player out there. But I think Marvin looks a lot more comfortable. I know I mentioned already he had a drop, but really that's a whatever thing. Michael Wilson did the same thing. They were out there at whatever it was. It would have been 9:30. They started practice for real at 9:30 Arizona time, and that's, again, I'm not saying they don't ever do that, but when you're trying to get amped up with another team, they just look like they needed a little time to get going. But I think Marvin has looked really good. I think he had those couple of moments early in training camp, but I think since then he's looked a lot more comfortable. But I think the whole offense looks good right now.
Just out of curiosity, we're chatting here with Darren Urban from azcardinals.com, and I know it might be apropos of absolutely nothing, but I am curious from your perspective how the interactions were like with Jonathan Gannon and what that experience was like with him and his former players and Monty Ossenfort, whom what of that were you able to observe?
There wasn't a ton of interaction until the end. A lot of guys were going up to talk to him. He obviously was talking a lot with Nick Rallis beforehand and after. Monty Ossenfort went up to him before practice. They seemed like everything was cool. I briefly got a chance to say hi to JG. I always felt like he was always the kind of guy that I don't think he thinks much of it. I'm not saying he would never hold a grudge. I don't know. I don't know how he felt like it happened and everything, but he's also not dumb. They won 3 games last year. I probably didn't come out of left field that he could have gotten let go. And he's always struck me as the kind of guy, like, he understands that's the business. And whatever happens, I'm going to move on and do my best job at the next place. So I felt like that was kind of cool. When I went up and said hi to him, he was talking to Yelda Froholt, who just got his extension. And, I think a lot of guys were happy to see him. But again, it's funny. We're the reporters. We're doing all the storylines. Obviously, a big one today was the LaFleur brothers and everything. Yep. But when you get down to brass tacks, it's, this is a practice. We're getting close to the regular season. Both these teams are trying to get into a point where, we want to be ready to play football. The rest of this is good, and it's not like you're not going to say hi to people, but it's not the overarching, thing you're talking about.
So I know you said that Zach was primarily watching the Cardinals defense today, so I'll generalize it instead. Josh Sweat got activated off the PUP list earlier this week. One, encouragement level that he's back with weeks before the season. And 2, just like how impactful can he be for this defense this year?
Well, Mitch, I'll generalize it for you. Josh Sweat's not doing anything but individual right now. So it's I don't know exactly what it's going to exactly look like. That's 2 days. I'm assuming if he only did individual today, he probably only did individual on Monday. That was mostly closed practice. But I know Garrett Williams was out doing a little bit of 11 on 11 today, so that's a good sign on that end. But with Josh, you hope he's going to be ready. I mean, you absolutely have to have him. I do think the pass rush had some moments today against Jordan Love, which was nice. I mean, they had 4 interceptions, and the Cardinals only threw 2, and one of them was a Gardner Minshew, basically a carbon copy of the one he threw against the Cowboys. He was throwing a pass to Simi Fehoko, and Simi Fehoko slipped, and it went right to the defender because Fehoko slipped down. So the Cardinals defense did a better job on that end than the Packers did today, and that was without Josh Sweat. So I thought Baron Browning made a couple of big plays. I thought Walter Nolan looked really good out there. So, again, I think you're hoping Josh Sweat is going to be ready. Is he? Until he is, I'm not going to say he is. He hasn't done anything yet. And eventually, I know Michael LaFleur says he doesn't need a lot of practice, but you actually got to be out there to be out there. I can't imagine if the first time he's going to be out there doing 11 on 11 is going to be against the Chargers on September 13th. I hope not.
Yeah. Last one for you before we let you go. I don't know if this was your first time being able to see it, and I know it really isn't part of the main story of what happened today, but is it the first time you were able to watch the whole kids and the bikes and the practice thing?
I did get to see a little bit of that. It was fantastic. It was funny. When I first showed up, I didn't realize how far up the people were, and I was like, wow, there doesn't seem to be any kids waiting to do bikes with them. And then somebody said, oh, no, you have to go all the way up this ramp over to by the locker room is. And then you get up there, and as you slowly get there, it's like, oh, my God, all these kids are there. And there's so many. And there was one really cute little girl wearing this tiny little Trey McBride jersey, and she's got like a Barbie bike with training wheels. I think Max Melton ended up on it. But it was really cool. I think there were so many players that wanted to take part. I'm sure you've seen some videos.
Yeah.
But it's a cool tradition, and they were so good with the kids. And the Packers fans really showed out in terms of the Green Bay fans. I don't know if they're all Packers fans, but I'll say that they were wonderful. There were so many people that as I was walking past them this morning, they're like, welcome to Green Bay. And they were just really cool.
That's cool. Promote that podcast for us, if you would, on your way out the door, Darren.
That would be Cardinals Underground, which you can hear on Spotify or Apple, and it's on there every week. And we just recorded a new one, so yeah. Me, Danny, and Craig Grialou. You've heard of Craig Grialou?
I've heard of Craig Grialou. Yeah, I'm familiar with his work. I believe that's the Intrepid Sports Reporter, if I'm not mistaken. And Danny, the sideline reporter for the Cardinals, who does a wonderful job as well. Yes. All right, back to your cheese curds and butter burgers, okay?
I'm all over it. Thank you for having me, boys.
I'm sure you are, Darren.
Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, Darren. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Darren Urban from azcardinals.com, our guest here on the Burns and Gambo Show in the land of Green Bay, Wisconsin. It was
Now
a
I
lot
just
of
want
fun.
cheese.
It's a great. The trip to Green Bay. If you haven't seen it, sorry, Lauren. I know you got all the
It's two of her worst. It's the Packers and it's cheese. It's just double whammy.
When we come back on the Burns and Gambo Show, the future of the Arizona Diamondbacks, the future of the Diamondbacks outfield. Did we see it for the first time today? That's next on Burns and Gambo.
Diamondback skipper Torey Lavello, the man who makes the lineup, joins Burns and Gambo Friday afternoons at 2:30 to talk D-backs. Brought to you by Budweiser. Watch it on YouTube. Listen on the Arizona Sports app and 98.7.
Hey, it's Gambo back to tell you about Stuart Willis from Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. He's done a great job for me. Financial plan, retirement plan, estate plan, and a tax plan. If you've got a financial advisor that is not talking to you about those four things and just making sure you're investing and growing your money, you might have the wrong financial advisor. Your financial advisor needs to have a tax plan for you. Most of us are putting money away tax deferred, and at some point that tax bill is due. What Stuart told me from the beginning when I started working with him, it's not about how much money you've been able to make and save. It's about how much of that are you going to be able to keep. So if you've got a financial advisor that is not talking to you about the implications of taxes down the road, you got the wrong guy. Call Stuart Willis right now. Get a free portfolio review at 602-877-PLAN. That's 602-877-PLAN for a free portfolio review. Or go to assetpreservationwealth.com.
Football is back, and Kilt Lifter from Four Peaks has your game days covered. Enter the Kilt Lifter Kickoff Sweepstakes to win 2026 Cardinals season tickets. Just head to Four Peaks 8th Street Pub in Tempe, scan the QR code to enter, and enjoy Arizona's award-winning Kilt Lifter.
Hey Arizona, Vince Marotta here. Start your engines. It's time to rev up the summer savings at Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa, and these truck deals are racing out the door. Get behind the wheel of a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 with 0% financing or up to $15,000 off MSRP. And for drivers who want serious muscle, the 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 offers 4.9% APR, an extra $2,000, and 0 payments for 90 days, or save up to $11,000 off MSRP. Plus, the 2026 GMC Canyon delivers 3.9% APR, $3,000 more for eligible trade-ins, and you guessed it, 90 days payment-free. Discover the truck of your dreams at Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa today, and don't get left in the dust, or shop online at EarnhardtBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
After all applicable incentives on select models, all offers with approved credit through GM Financial. See dealer for details. Offers end August 31st, 2026.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here, and you've seen the billboards. Sweet James is everywhere. It's a fun name and a fun brand, but when you've been hurt in an accident and it's game time, Sweet James plays to win. They are unstoppable in their pursuit of justice, and they are the heavy hitter you need when dealing with the insurance companies. Sweet James Accident Attorneys is a world-class law firm with over 25 years of experience, more than 500 trials, and over $2 billion recovered for accident victims. They even have a full in-house trial team, and they win 98% of the time. Remember, having the right attorney can mean the difference between a $2,000 check and a $2 million settlement, and Sweet James delivers some of the biggest wins in the country, and they've been named best attorneys in America. So if you're hurt in an accident, don't settle for less. Call Sweet James at 1-800-9-MILLION. That's 1-800-900-0000, online at sweetjames.com.
The Labor Day sales event is going on now at your 13 Valley Chevy dealers. Get exciting offers on a head-turning lineup, including Silverado, Traverse, and Trax. Plus, check out Equinox with excellent efficiency and bold design. It's the SUV that lets you take on the world in style. We have the inventory and we have the offers. Visit valleychevy.com or go to one of your 13 Valley Chevy dealers today. The Labor Day sales event going on now.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. We'll get you updated on what the Diamondbacks do next. Fun begins tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. on Arizona Sports, the Arizona Sports app, the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
All right, just real quick because I'm being challenged by my friends.
Uh-oh.
We're in the middle of we started a slow draft for our fantasy league. This is the guillotine league, where if you have the low score of the week, you're out. Like you just hand over your money and you're done. Okay. So I'm on the clock.
Okay.
And this is only the second round. I already have Devon Achane. I always forget.
Interesting. A first round Miami Dolphin?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, God. Okay.
I'm on the clock. Boy, this is not going well already. Oh, boy.
Well, just
You said one thing.
I'm not even sure I said the dude's name right. I can never say his name right. These are your options.
Okay.
All right. A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, Trey McBride, Josh Allen. Who should I take?
Josh Allen.
I was going to say, honestly, if Josh Allen is in your 4, just take Josh Allen.
Done. Josh Allen.
Take that, Burnsies friends.
Yeah.
He got Josh Allen.
Challenge accepted.
And Devon Achane.
Oh, yeah. Do it live on the air. Fine. Do it live on the air.
That's simple.
Yeah, that's simple. I was going to go McBride.
That's
Interesting.
I was going to go McBride.
It's one of those two.
Yeah, it was going to be one of those two.
I think there's a case for A.J. Brown, but it might be a tad early.
Well, because it's a guillotine league. You want your best foot forward right away.
Yeah,
you don't want to take guys who are questionable in week 1.
Get the best quarterback while he's there.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So, okay, yeah, done. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
If things go south, blame Mitch.
That's fine.
No, I'll blame myself for taking the guy I should have taken in the first round that made you both go, ew, you took him?
Okay, that's a fair compromise, yes.
I'll blame myself. It's my fault. Today's starting outfield for the Arizona. Well, first of all, let me just tell what it sounded like the last 24 hours for the Arizona Diamondbacks, right? Because you had what you had last night and you had Waldschmidt.
Swung on and hit high. It's hit deep. It's on its way. Good night. It's a game winner for Ryan Waldschmidt. And the Diamondbacks stun the Cubs 5-4.
And then today you had Jordan Lawler in the 6th inning give them the 1-0 lead. And you start to think to yourself, hey, look at that. That's the outfield of the future right there.
Ryan Waldschmidt in left, Jordan Lawler in center, Corbin Carroll in right. Looks pretty good.
It looked pretty good, doesn't it?
Pretty good.
Now, there's two ways to look at this. There's the short term and there's the long term. The short term is that Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is coming back, and man, they got a crowded house in the outfield. They got a bunch of dudes. I mean, to the point where I don't think I'd be surprised if either Max Kepler or Jorge Barrosa is not on the Diamondbacks roster when Gurriel comes back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the play. It's one of those guys because you just have too many outfielders, and you acquired, right? Am I wrong? That's the play. It's one of those two guys.
I was
isn't
trying
it?
to pull up FanGraphs roster resource to see if anybody that's worth sending down with options, and really it's Jose Fernandez. Jordan Lawler still has an option. Waldschmidt, but you don't want to send any of those 3 guys down. At least I wouldn't think. Nootbaar, you just acquired. Would look really bad if you DFA'd him after like 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're not going to do that.
Max Kepler, who, reminder, not going to be available if you make the postseason because of the suspension.
Right.
And then Barrosa, who is out of options. And look, I get it. They talk about how valuable he is to their defense. And he is. He is very valuable to their defense. But he can't hit. And when you have Ryan Waldschmidt hitting well, you have Jordan Lawler now back, who was the former number 6 overall pick, and you're trying to just get him the regular opportunities. You've got Lourdes Gurriel Jr. knocking on the door. Even if they bring back Tommy Troy and want to utilize him in the outfield, also knocking at the door. You got to move somebody.
Yeah.
And it's got to be somebody who's not contributing right now.
I think Barrosa's the play. I know they consider him to be the best defensive outfielder they got. I know there's value in that. But I also think you're kind of hurting yourself again with your left-handed bats if it's Kepler. I know Kepler hasn't been any kind of awesome lately, but now it kind of just leaves Nootbaar as the only one. And
Barrosa switch hits, but they're not going to put him in against righties.
He's almost an automatic out when he's up there. So that's the short-term solution.
Right.
But then also part of the short-term conversation is, okay, Nootbaar, fine, Gurriel, great, but just about every single game, it feels like this should be the outfield you want out there, righty, lefty, or whatever. Now, I know that's a dramatic oversimplification, and I understand you do want to platoon this a little bit with Newt Barr and guys like that, and Kepler if you end up keeping him. But, man, you look at what Waldschmidt did last night. You look at what Lawler did today. Corbin Carroll's Corbin Carroll, and it is really tempting, Mitch, to just say, the hell with it. Let's the majority of the time, let's play those three guys every single game and just see what we can do.
And I was trying to see, because I couldn't remember for sure, in terms of the long-term play. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has a $14 million club option for next season.
Yeah.
And if this continues to go the way that it's going, where Waldschmidt and Lawler become regular contributors, you have Carroll. If Newt Barr just becomes your designated hitter next season because you have him for next year, it might just be the easy goodbye Gurriel. Thanks for your help the rest of this year, but now we're moving forward with the kids. And the kids are pretty good, and the kids are pretty quick and good at covering that outfield that absolutely needs to be covered.
You're talking about the offseason now? You're not talking about the now. You're talking about the offseason, or are you talking about the now?
Well, like, I think Gurriel's going to help them in the now.
Okay.
But I mean, like, when we get to next year and years beyond.
I think he's gone. I don't think there's a fairly expensive buyout for him, but I don't think this is it for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I don't think he's going to be back on this team. I think long-term, it's enticing. Long-term, it's exciting. Long-term, and really, I hate to say this.
It's the reward for not trading him at the deadline, Ryan Waldschmidt.
It's the reward for not trading either one of them, to be honest with you. And that's where the risk comes with the risk-reward of this, is that the risk is with Jordan Lawler, and we saw him make a spectacular catch against the Cubs.
And we almost saw him get knocked out last night,
we
too.
almost saw
Very
him get
scary.
Yeah, and you could see Torey Lovullo as he's running out last night to check on Lawler. And I noticed this when I was watching the game. At one point, Torey's walking out, and he kind of shakes his head. And I don't want to, like, read into body language or anything, but I almost interpreted it as, God, really, not again.
Again.
Right? Like, again. This poor kid again. Like, there was just a moment where there was kind of that anxiety/sympathy of, oh, man, what am I walking into with Jordan Lawler here? And that's going to be the one thing that hopefully doesn't keep this thing from being as great as it could be, because an outfield of Jordan Lawler, Ryan Waldschmidt, and Corbin Carroll could be epic for years to come if health will allow it to be epic.
Yeah, and I mean, for Lawler, the soft tissue injuries are one thing, but the getting hit on the wrist break, the almost getting drilled in the head, he had the broken thumb last year just trying to field a grounder. Like, if he stays healthy, it's a very fun concept of those three. And we got a little piece of that today, and that was very encouraging as well.
When we come back on the Burns and Gambo show, we saw one member of the Arizona Cardinals get an extension. Who's going to be next? Will there be a next? And when could it happen? That's coming up here on Arizona Sports.
Live streaming audio, podcasts, video highlights. The Arizona Sports app has all this and more from the local sports leader. And D-backs play-by-play.
And now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Download the Arizona Sports app. Presented by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning.
All right, back here to say about Global Credit Union, and yet another way they have come up with saving you money at Global Credit Union, and that is through their insurance brokers that they have at Global Credit Union. You need to compare shop. You buy your car insurance, you buy your homeowner's insurance, you just kind of set it and you forget about it, right? There could be better deals out there for you. There could be deals that give you the kind of coverage that you're looking for, or that work within your budget, that work better for you than what you have right now. Global Credit Union will scour through the options, and they'll find the best one for you. They'll find the coverage that makes the most sense. They'll find the one that makes the most sense for your budget, and they'll look for it so you don't have to, and they'll save you money in the process. You could even go to Global Credit Union to get the best loan for your automobile and then get the best insurance coverage for your automobile with the great rate that they're able to find you. And that's on top of the lower fees, the no fees, the better rates when it comes to the loans that they have, all the ways that Global Credit Union saves you money. Signing up is really easy. Go to globalcu.org. That's globalcu.org.
Gear up this fall with the new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power. Comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Hey, this Labor Day, hit the road to savings. Yep, the Labor Day sales event at our Desert Ford dealers. Paul Calvisi, your man. It is so on August 25th through September 7th. 2 years ago, we bought a brand new Explorer during the Ford Labor Day sales event. Big time savings. Love our Explorer. And now it gets better because we get $5,000 in trade assist cash on a 2026 Ford Explorer or $3,000 in trade assist cash on a 2026 Bronco when you trade in your old ride. And on a 2026 Ford F-150, the truck that works as hard as you do but doubles as your weekend warrior, how about a 2026 F-150 STX or XLT and get $5,500 in trade assist cash when you trade in your old ride? Or get 2.9% for 72 months plus $1,500 in bonus cash on a 2026 F-150 STX or XLT. But hurry, the Ford Labor Day sales event ends September 7th at buyfordnow.com.
When it comes to vision, the name you need to know is Dr. Jay Schwartz at the Schwartz Laser Eye Center, the team eye doctor for the Phoenix Suns and Arizona Diamondbacks. Ready to ditch glasses and contacts? LASIK is your winning play, an advanced laser procedure that reshapes the cornea for sharp, clear vision. Quick procedure, fast recovery, and trusted results. If you're not a LASIK candidate, no need to worry. They've got options like the Evo ICL, an implantable lens that works with your natural eye, or the Clear Lens Exchange, a procedure that replaces your eye's natural lens for lasting clarity. There's free consultation at all 3 Valley locations, Scottsdale, Glendale, and Mesa. Schedule now at teamidoc.com. That's teamidoc.com or call 480-483-EYES. That's 480-483-EYES. It's the Schwartz Laser Eye Center, trusted for over 25 years.
I'm Mitch Vareldis, and here is what is trending now. Diamondbacks wrapped up a huge series victory over Chicago earlier today. Jordan Lawler's solo home run in the 7th inning broke the scoreless tie, and the Diamondbacks went on to beat the Cubs 2-0. It was also masterful work on the mound by Eduardo Rodriguez. 7 shutout innings. 9 times he recorded a strikeout in this one. Diamondbacks will now hit the road. They play 4 games in 3 days against the San Francisco Giants before they make their way back to the desert. Cardinals wrapped up their joint practice with the Packers earlier today. If you want to see the toe-tapping touchdown that Marvin Harrison Jr. had, led to some alliteration by yours truly. Head on over to ArizonaSports.com and the Arizona Sports app. This report is brought to you by Genesis of Scottsdale. Experience real luxury felt behind the wheel at Genesis of Scottsdale. Elevate every journey and step into extraordinary at genesisofscottsdale.com.
Here are the top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com. I'm Bailey Leisure. Diamondbacks snatch series win over the Cubs thanks to Eduardo Rodriguez. Mo Odom could return to Arizona State for his 5th college season amid wild summer for the NCAA. And Mike LaFleur says it's too early to tell if James Conner will be ready for Week 1. Those are your top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com.
Love some Tame Impala. And I'm not just saying that because I put this in my music rotator.
Not familiar with
Tame Impala.
this Tame Impala song, but I do like Tame Impala.
This one's called Borderline.
Okay. I'll have to download that on my Spotify.
Your Spotify or your Apple Music, whatever you use.
I do like Tame Impala, though.
They're going to be here in September.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Might have to go see them.
At Mortgage Matchup Center.
Might have to go see Tame Impala. Okay, that's good to know. Speaking of one Spotify account, John Gambadoro from his vacation. I have no idea where he's at, by the way.
Tweeted this from Spotify?
He tweeted this. No, I was just talking about him because we were, the Spotify thing. Dre Jameson will be optioned to make room for Jose Cabrera. Jose Cabrera is the starting pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks tomorrow. So there's 4 pitchers needed, starting pitchers needed against the Giants. We now for sure know 2 of them. We probably know 3 of them if we're being honest about it. Jose Cabrera tomorrow. Merrill Kelly for one of the games on Saturday. We think it's going to be Mitch Bratt for the other game on Saturday as like the emergency 27th guy. We just don't know who's going to start on Friday. We don't know, but that's apparently the move. Gambo's reporting from vacation. Dre Jameson will be optioned to make room for Jose Cabrera. What's everything okay?
Well, there's the small enough contingency of people that know my affection for Dre Jameson. It's
kind of a fan favorite guy, isn't he? Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Like it really sucks. He's gone through injuries like every other year and just has not been able to stay healthy or consistent. It's a real bummer.
It's been tough for him. Anyway, but yeah, I do know he's kind of popular with some of the fan base. Before we talk about who the next player, if there is a next player to get a contract extension from the Cardinals this offseason after Yelda Froholt got his, a quick moment on the demise of the Pro Bowl. As it was announced today.
We have taps. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
The Pro Bowl is no more. According to The Athletic, The Athletic has learned the Pro Bowl is being eliminated. On Wednesday, league executives presented to team owners the future of the Pro Bowl, which will no longer have a standalone game, be it tackle or flag football. After surveying players over the years, the NFL will now make the Pro Bowl effectively an individual performance award. 88 players will get the Pro Bowl honor with no alternates, no game, no flags, no tackle, no nothing. Said Peter O'Reilly, NFL Executive VP of Club Business, quote, All-Star games, I think, for all leagues have been fraught for a long time, and they haven't necessarily represented the very best premium of that sport for those players, close quote. He ain't wrong. This might be a little drastic, but I don't think he's wrong in terms of all-star games in general being a destination must-watch kind of thing.
I think the NHL would like a word after the success of the Four Nations during their last All-Star break. But
Fair point.
And I mean, baseball, they have to actually play the game. It's just become diluted, and I think this year is a forgetful one because neither Shohei or Aaron Judge played because they were both hurt. But what the NFL Pro Bowl has become is just kind of a joke, a laughing stock.
A glorified walkthrough.
Like, basically what it has become is guys don't want to go because it's not the real game anymore, or if they do go, they don't want to get hurt, so they don't want to put themselves on the line. And now you've got, it's flag, it's competition of snapping the ball further than another or into a target, jumping into a pile of, like a ball pit to catch football. Like it's nothing.
Of course.
And what's hilarious about it is, there are contracts. They're incentive laden by making these types of events, right?
And that's why they're still keeping Pro Bowl designations.
Sure.
Because there are clauses for people to make money to be a Pro Bowler. So they're still going to name a Pro Bowl team.
I mean, what this avoids is Tyler Huntley having to be a 53rd alternate at the Pro Bowl as a quarterback.
Yeah, in a game that nobody wants to watch because nobody wants to watch Tyler Huntley with the idea that he's a Pro Bowl quarterback because we all know he's not.
I would love to hear Wolf's thoughts on this tomorrow.
Oh, he's going to lose
his
mind. He's going to lose his mind.
Four-time NFL Pro Bowler Ron Wolf, by the way.
Tune in at 10 a.m. tomorrow and listen to Wolf lose his mind about them doing away with the Pro Bowl because he will. You will, Ron. If you're listening right now, you will lose your mind.
You will, Ron. You will.
Yelda Froholtz got the contract extension, 2 years, $20 million. Well earned.
It's a nice little deal.
It's a nice little deal for him. It's a nice little deal for them. He's been available. He's played in all 17 games the last 3 seasons. He's been good. He consistently ranks as one of the top 10 centers in the National Football League. He's the leader. He's a tough guy. He's smart. He's like everything you want out of a center in this league. Good for him. I don't think he's the one we would have expected to be the first Cardinal to get an extension, or at least as we approach the regular season. And it kind of does have us wondering, A, is anybody next? And B, if they are, who is next to get an extension from the Cardinals?
It's certainly not the sexy name, or to your point, I don't think it's one that we really anticipated at all. I think his current contract is expiring, so yeah, it makes sense if you want to keep him in Arizona. And look, that was one of Monty's first free agent signings. And I was looking back at some of the free agent signings just yesterday. There aren't a ton of really good free agent signings that he's had either. Like we knocked the draft classes, but the free agents, ugh. Either way, Yelda getting the extension, it's nice, but there's somebody else on the offensive line that I would have wondered, is he going to get an extension? In particular, because two of his other draft class mates in Darnell Wright and Peter Skoronsky got their big kid extensions like a month ago or so. And it sets the market for what Paris Johnson Jr. could ask for or reasonably get. So I'm kind of surprised that this was the extension they did first and not Paris.
I was surprised, too. Equally as surprised as I was when Monty Fort was asked. And this is August 10th, so this is 2.5 weeks ago. He was asked about one of the other players that we would have assumed would have gotten an extension, and that's wide receiver Michael Wilson. He was asked specifically if he expects to extend wide receiver Michael Wilson.
He's a guy that we want around here a long time. There's no question about it. So, expect. That's a tough word. I think our interest is in keeping him here. And, Michael's been a good player for us. He's going to continue to be a good player for us. I know Coach LaFleur feels the same way, and we want Michael here for a long time.
Now, I've heard that soundbite a couple times, and as oddly as that was phrased, I think I understand it a little bit more. He doesn't want to give away any leverage in conversation. He doesn't want Michael Wilson's agent to have Monty Fort on record as saying, yes, we expect to sign Michael Wilson to a contract extension, because then you're setting the bar of expectation and all that stuff. But it still wasn't an awkward way of putting it, because
Why is expect a tough word?
If you don't, you're running the risk of, if Michael Wilson does it again, he's going to get real expensive. The whole wide receiver room in general is very complicated, just in that if Marvin Harrison Jr. has the kind of season that he almost needs to, now you got to start talking about extending him if he's worthy of that, and then having the money to keep both of them. Maybe you can do it because you're going to have a rookie quarterback contract one way or another next year.
Sure.
So it allows you to save some of that money, but it does become a little tricky when compared to the Marvin Harrison Jr. situation,
and
too.
The big difference is that one of them has a fifth-year option attached to their contract in Marv. Michael's on the final year of his deal. And there's a couple of receivers that got deals this offseason. The one that immediately jumps to mind is Jaden Reed with Green Bay. I think his was like $3 and $90. Like, I can't fathom the idea that Jaden Reed is more valuable than Michael Wilson, team to team. Maybe I just don't know enough about the Packers and how they utilize Reed.
Yeah.
But they also have Christian Watson, and they drafted Matthew Golden in the first round. Either way,
Lauren from the top
she's
rope.
made it clear.
It just comes out of nowhere. No.
She doesn't like Christian Watson, clearly, or doesn't rely on him. Now she's just making absurd faces right now.
Yeah, I've told you this 100 times. When you do stuff like that, you need to turn on your mic so we can see the absurdity on your face, please.
All right, your two audience.
There we go. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Christian Watson.
No.
There we go. No. Thank you for participating in the.
You could have named any Green Bay Packer for the record. No.
Well, I was trying to build up to Matthew Golden.
No.
Tucker Kraft.
Especially not the slander he had for the Bears last year.
Okay, now this just feels biased. What you're doing?
Can I give you another name for an extension possibility that I wonder about? Mac Wilson Sr. Debate and discuss.
Also on an expiring deal.
About him.
Should be re-signed.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we all saw.
Do we want to see a healthy season though first?
No.
Or okay.
I don't know if we need,
because who's next?
Yeah, I mean,
who's taking any kind of leadership role?
How old is he? Am I missing something? How old is Mac Wilson?
I think he's 29, 28, somewhere around
there. So he's not there when it comes. He's 28 years old. I don't think I just broke my laptop. I pointed at it so hard.
You could hear it.
You could hear my finger hit the screen of the laptop. I pointed at it so far. He's 28 years old. That guy. Now, I'm not saying not the other guys. I'm just saying that guy, I want that guy re-signed.
Okay, then I'll shift it. Priority list. And Lauren, if you want to share on this too. Michael Wilson, Paris Johnson Jr., Mac Wilson. Priority 1, priority 2, priority 3.
Wilson.
Which Wilson?
Mac.
Okay.
1. Michael 2, Paris 3.
Interesting.
Because of the 5th-year option.
Fair.
Because of the 5th-year option.
I would switch your 1 and your 2.
So you'd switch my Wilsons?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would do M. Wilson 1,
Stop.
M. Wilson 2.
So you'd go Michael, Mac, and Paris.
Paris.
Okay.
Yes.
Mitch?
I want to lock up Paris before he gets too expensive.
Okay.
So I'll go Paris, I'll go Michael, and then I'll go Mac.
God knows they got plenty of money. They got plenty of cap space. That is not the problem here.
That is not. They're paying out Kyler Murray's contract. They have no money.
Well, in another year, they don't have to deal with that. When we come back on the Burns and Gambo show, recapping another wild day at Chase Field, a series win for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now we all kind of hold our breath because the San Francisco Giants are a team the D-backs should beat, and we know that's kind of been a problem.
They suck!
That's next on Burns and Gambo with Mitch filling in.
Bickley and Marotta mornings.
Even though I do kind of roll my eyes when I hear football players talk about how we're going to surprise people because that's the nature of football in August, if there's one person other than a quarterback who can affect that kind of change, it is a star running back. I learned this very early on in Chicago with Walter Payton. If Jeremiah Love takes the field for the Cardinals and what he unleashes on the NFL is similar to what we saw in that game against the Raiders, if he is that dude, that kind of running back just through individual greatness can lift up everybody on the team. If Jeremiah Love is that dude, then he can make that prophecy come true.
Bickley and Marotta, mornings on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Hey, it's Gambo. I've taken M-Drive every morning for 10 years. Here's why. Once men get into their 40s and 50s, the body starts changing. Testosterone naturally declines, energy drops, recovery takes longer, and keeping weight off gets harder. I know, I felt it myself. That's why I take M-Drive every day. M-Drive is made for men over 40 with clinically tested ingredients that support healthy testosterone, steady energy, and metabolism. No hype, no shortcuts. I know the people behind M-Drive. I've watched this Phoenix company grow, and I've trusted the product for 10 years. In fact, M-Drive has been helping men for nearly 20 years. It's the #1 men's health brand at Sprouts. Don't let age beat you. Go to mdriveformen.com right now and use code GAMBO for 20% off your first order. That's use code GAMBO at mdriveformen.com. Testosterone support, energy, metabolism, don't wait. It only gets harder. Go to mdriveformen.com right now and use code GAMBO for 20% off your first order. Start today. M-Drive, for men who still show up.
Oh, it's Wolf, and it's on. It's the Labor Day credit forgiveness event at Tim Hobig's Santan Ford. Look, maybe your credit's not so good or even a bankruptcy. It happens. Here's another thing that can happen. Santan Ford gets you approved. Approved. Out the door and on the road in your new Ford, so bring it. The team is ready to work every angle, so get you into the new ride you deserve. It's the Labor Day credit forgiveness event at Tim Hobig's Santan Ford. Head on over to the Santan 202 Freeway in Bell Vista Drive in Gilbert.
Upgrade your home with Milgard windows and patio doors from the Window Depot. From energy-efficient vinyl windows to sliding patio doors, Milgard offers the style, quality, and performance that today's homeowners are looking for. Shop in-stock products or custom order the size, style, and finish that's right for your home. And with the Window Depot's lowest price guarantee, you'll never overpay. Bring us a competitor's quote and we'll beat it. Shop your nearest location or visit thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Hi, I'm Jen.
And I'm Daniel.
We're your average Arizona family. We have 2 kids.
Make around $85,000 a year.
And just bought an American-made car.
And I'm Andy Biggs. Because of the working families tax cuts that I delivered, a family like theirs saw their 2026 tax bill drop by almost $2,700, according to the Treasury. That means more money staying where it belongs, with Arizona families.
Like ours.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Now's the time to save at Freeway Chevrolet with employee pricing for everyone. Plus, up to $12,500 off select new 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 model. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Savings include manufacturer rebates and dealer discounts. Actual savings will vary by model, trim, equipment, and vehicle availability. Offer excludes tax, title, license, registration, and any optional dealer-added items. Purchase price includes $589 dealer docket. Offer cannot be combined with other incentives or special financing unless permitted by the manufacturer. Contact dealer for details. Take new retail delivery by August 31st, 2026.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo. What's on tonight?
What's on tonight? The games that we're going to watch this evening, and it's brought to you by Global Credit Union. Explore the benefits of becoming a member by going to globalcu.org, your world of financial possibilities. Diamondbacks already played. Diamondbacks already won. We'll get into that in just a second. The Mercury, they don't play tonight, do they? Do they play tonight?
They played yesterday and they lost. Also, Dewana Bonner, it looks like she's going to join Atlanta for the stretch run.
Okay. So no Mercury tonight. All of the games that impacted the Diamondbacks in the NL wildcard race are done, with the exception of the Red Sox and the Marlins, and the Marlins are beating Boston 2-0 right now in the bottom of the seventh. So that's what's on tonight. We already saw that the Padres won earlier today. We already saw they beat the Pirates 3-0. We already saw that the Phillies won today. They beat the Mariners by a score of 6-0. So as far as the baseball impacting the National League wildcard race, all that stuff is already done. So that's what's on tonight.
It's nice that we can now hyper-focus on just like three other teams as opposed to, could you imagine having to cover the American League wildcard race?
Yeah.
Where it's literally everybody except the Angels, A's, and Royals.
No doubt.
Like, that's got to be nauseating.
Also, what's on tonight, we've got the very first edition of Sparky's Den on right after us
Forks
here
up,
on the
baby.
Burns and Gambo Show.
Let's
Forks
go.
up. We still have not gotten a starting quarterback announcement. I don't want to tease anything. I don't know if we're getting that tonight.
We do not know.
We don't know, but we haven't gotten one yet. But the first Sparky's Den with Coach Dillingham is coming up, and then you and Kellen
Olson,
are on for an hour-long edition of Arizona Sports at Night from 7 until 8, correct?
Yes.
And I would imagine you'll be talking a lot about these guys.
Murillo, he's set. He fires. And he gets a ground ball to first. Tawa has it. Flips to Murillo in time, and that's your ball game. The Diamondbacks shut out the Cubs 2-0, and they pick up a massive series win against the top team in the National League wildcard race, the Chicago Cubs.
It's been a remarkable 21 hours for Diamondbacks baseball in that, I mean, really,
No kidding.
It really has. In that in the eighth inning of that game last night, they were toast. They just looked like they were lifeless toast and had nothing to offer. And then Gabby happens and Perdomo happens and Tawa gets the walk and Fernandez gets the stolen base and Waldschmidt with the walk-off home run, which was great. Today, Erod was unbelievable how good he was. Once again, I will tell you that in the 9 starts he's made this year against some of the best teams in the National League, he has been so good in those games. They get the Lawler home run. They win the series against the Cubs, and they're keeping pace with everybody in the wild card race. Now comes this really weird series against a really bad San Francisco Giants team that you shouted to the mountaintop sucks.
Yeah, do you want to know how bad?
How bad?
How bad? The Giants, I'm trying to pull up the exact stat because ESPN was kind enough to send the push alert when that game was done. If you don't know, Giants have been a big part of my life growing up. But anyway, so the Giants previously in games where they led by 6 runs or more in the 9th inning, 2,208-0. 2,208 wins to 0 losses. The Giants went into the 9th inning against the Reds up 9-3, and they lost today 10-9 in 9 innings. Not even in extras, in 9 innings.
It's a really bad baseball team the Diamondbacks are going to play. But the only thing, well, there's 2 things. Number 1, it reminds everybody of that Colorado Rockies series after they beat the Dodgers. And number 2, 3 of the 4 starters that you have in this series are guys that you're calling up from the minors in all likelihood.
Yeah,
and that's where it's got the potential to be an uncomfortable series, just because Jose Cabrera's tomorrow. We presume Mitch Bratt and Merrill Kelly in a doubleheader on Saturday. We don't know about Friday. Maybe Cole Drake, maybe somebody else. Weird series. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, and I'm sure you guys will talk about it tonight.
They'll win plenty, I'm sure.
Sparky's Den is next. That's going to do it for us. Mitch, as always, fantastic work filling in for Gambo. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock here on Burns and Gambo.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2.
Man, I'm tired of this. I really am. I am tired of this. I wanted Carson back. Oh.
This is like some trailer comes out for a movie and everybody's like, dude, we got to go see that. And then the movie's like, and we're set to come out next week. And then the movie doesn't come out for 4 years.
Look.
That's what this is. Carson Beck was amazing in that Hall of Fame game, and we haven't seen him since outside of a little bit of practice.
This makes me sick, basing on that this has happened. Carson Beck.
That's why I cared about this preseason.
Wolf and Luke, middays 10 to 2 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
I'm Dan Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, millions of people called us for representation. Why? Because trust grows when you win, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion and counting. When you call America's largest injury law firm, you're calling a family. You're calling an army, our army. You're calling somebody who will fight for you. Injured? Let our family fight for your family. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Arizona lawyer will handle Arizona cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Dan Bickley here with my guy Bear, owner of Walt's TV and Appliance. And Bear, I bet most of your customers come from word of mouth.
You're right, Bick. For generations, our customers have been our best advertising. That's why when you make a qualifying purchase at Walt's, we'll give you a Refer a Friend card.
And what happens when they bring that in?
They'll receive $50 off their purchase, and you'll receive $50 off your next purchase. It's our way of saying thank you to our customers.
Visit Walt's just off the I-10 in Warner next to the IKEA. They've been serving Arizona families for generations. And don't forget to mention my name for additional discounts.
Down the stretch we go with a pennant race, right? Baseball in full swing, and there's no better place to be than Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. Yep, Paul Calvisi here. Hey, Messi, Giannis, DeChambeau, all talking Kalshi in baseball, like how Milwaukee is trading at 11% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out over $850. Arizona, hello, trading at just 1% to win it all, meaning if you take your swing, a $100 trade pays out over $10,000 with a win. And remember, on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house, and as probability changes, you can buy in, out of your position. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use referral code AZSports, one word, AZSports, to get $20 when you trade 20. That's code AZSports, one word, on the Kalshi app, K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk. risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, value, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see calsheet.com/regulatory.
Hey Arizona, Vince Murata here. Start your engines. It's time to rev up the summer savings at Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa, and these truck deals are racing out the door. Get behind the wheel of a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 with 0% financing or up to $15,000 off MSRP. And for drivers who want serious muscle, the 2026 GMC Sierra 2500 offers 4.9% APR, an extra $2,000, and 0 payments for 90 days, or save up to $11,000 off MSRP. Plus, the 2026 GMC Canyon delivers 3.9% APR, $3,000 more for eligible trade-ins, and you guessed it, 90 days payment free. Discover the truck of your dreams at Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa today, and don't get left